All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Appreciate you guys waiting patiently, as always, for the intro to finish up. Just making sure my audio is all good. You look good. Yeah, hope everybody's doing well on this Tuesday. Prince G with a take care and a 5-bomb emoji. Talking about Days Gone Remastered today. I don't know how many of you guys are looking forward to this, but I'm looking forward to it. Eagerly awaiting it. We have a really interesting rumor regarding a PlayStation 6 handheld that, we touched upon this briefly yesterday, but now we have a little bit more information. Unknown, you're saying I'm planning on making it my 1,000th platinum. Wow. 1,000 platinums, dude? That's crazy. It's not time, boss. That's really impressive, Unknown. Yeah, I would like to platinum it again as well myself. But it's a pretty long one. Alien Tenno, you're saying you have Days Gone pre-ordered already? Good stuff, man. Yeah, how many of you guys are upgrading to Days Gone, like with the $10 upgrade versus buying it outright? Mulin says, "Holy shit, it's finally happening. Embark announced a PS5 tech test for Arc Raiders. Check their YouTube for sign up. It's basically The Last of Us multiplayer with robots." Oh, I might have to go check that out then. Yeah, I saw I think I saw like leaked gameplay of that a while ago. And I remember when this game was announced, it definitely caught my attention. Let me go check. Tech Test 2 announcement. Just checking this out, seeing what they're saying here. Sign up for a chance to play. Have they officially shown gameplay of this yet, by the way? I feel like they teased gameplay. Is there like raw gameplay out there? So the second tech test is happening between April 30th and May 4th. So it's a short period of time. Let me see. Checking the gameplay now. Okay, so the gameplay is out there. Yeah, this game looks good to me. Sorry I don't have it on screen. I wasn't expecting to check it out, but yeah, Arc Raiders. Say what again? Muda says, "How do you platinum a game? I never platinumed one." Basically, to get a platinum for a game, well, I'm assuming you play on PlayStation. You can unlock trophies, which are built into PlayStation's ecosystem. Every game has trophies. If you unlock every single trophy, the last trophy you get for doing that is the platinum. So you pretty much have to just make your way down the trophy list for a game, check them off, and then you get that coveted platinum. All the previews are very positive too. It's a gorgeous game. I mean, yeah, dude, it's like a third person over the shoulder. I mean, you're saying it's like The Last of Us Online. It kind of, yeah, I could see that a little bit, but with robots instead of clickers or infected. I don't know. Maybe I'll sign up for it. Show us on screen. Is there any news on Arc Raiders? Yeah, I'll bring it up on screen real quick. Yeah, what's up, Corey? Ray, what's going on, dude? Give me one moment. I give you guys a quick view of this game. I'm gonna have the audio off though because it's from I think Jack Fragg's channel. Show you a little bit of the gameplay. Yeah, the news for Arc Raiders, there's going to be another test um, between May 30th and 4th, but this time for consoles, it seems, which is very cool. And Corey the Legend comes in once again. He's kicking it off. He does it again.
I'll be back.
Another 5-bomb from Corey the Legend Landiga. I'll add that to the counter. Thank you for that, man. Yeah, guys, if we can hit 25 members, we will feed the beast. We'll give you-know-who some of his you-know-whats. Just give me one moment here. Okay, thank you for that, Corey. I don't know why my voice sounds like that. All right, let me bring this up. I don't know why. Whoa, okay, hold on. It's a little too. So this is Arc Raiders. I think this is another extraction shooter. So I can't. It's going to look a little weird because the aspect ratio is different. But I think it's a. So it's Arc Raiders gameplay is finally here. This is a new PvPvE adventure extraction game from Embark, who make the finals. So this is basically Marathon's competition for now, it seems. And I feel like, I don't know, like this, to me, this is a perfect example of like the art style and, the color palette. Like this game is just automatically more appealing to me because it's third person. I like the art style better. It could, but who knows? I mean, I haven't played it, so I can't tell you really what it's like. What's interesting is some of the animations, like the running animation stuff, reminds me of like Star Wars Battlefront a bit. Yeah, I like the look of it. Although I'm just confused because I don't know what they're shooting at. Oh, they're shooting another player. Okay. At least it looks like they are. Yeah. I'll probably give this a try when it comes out. What do you guys think? That's Arc Raiders. Looks okay. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting about that game is it is the same type of game as Marathon. Let me fix this here. And let me go back to the chat. Marathon doesn't have safe pockets. This game has a persistent map, quests, loot. Okay. Oblivion leaked and should shadow drop within the next week. Yeah, we're going to go over that. That's one of the other things we're going to be covering. Arc Raiders does all the things that Marathon should have, even proximity chat. See, that's what's interesting to me. I covered that in my video today. And yeah, people seem to be pretty frustrated at the fact that Bungie has announced that Marathon will not have proximity chat. Will it be on PlayStation? I think it will be. Yeah. I mean, they're doing a playtest for PS5, so yeah. You think Arc Raiders could be another Helldivers 2? Maybe Sony should get in touch. I'm gonna laugh, dude. I'm gonna laugh if Arc Raiders ends up being more successful than Marathon. That'd be kind of nuts because they're like a independent studio. I think they're made up of former DICE developers. But yeah, the Oblivion remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, is real, and basically everything leaked out today. And we're gonna cover that a little bit. Now, I'm not a fan of Oblivion. Never played it. Never going to play it. I don't like. I'm not a fan of Bethesda's RPGs. Never have been. Never will be. But I understand that a lot of people love those games, and the hype that I'm seeing for Oblivion remaster slash remake is pretty high, and I think people are very stoked that it's going to be shadow dropping next week. But yeah, like everything seemed to have leaked out today. The finals died out so fast, just like this will. Yeah, I mean that's the struggle with these independent studios trying to make successful live service games. I mean they're at risk of dying very very quickly. Very quickly. I would love to see Marathon succeed though. You know? I'm rooting for PlayStation, man. I'm rooting like listen, I like PlayStation. You know that. That's I mean is it not obvious? I want to see them succeed. I don't know if Marathon's going to be my type of game or not. It seems like it's probably not. I'll give it a shot. You know, I'll give it a chance to get its hooks in me. But I'm assuming it's not going to be my type of game. But I want to see him succeed. You know, I've been seeing people saying they want to see Sony's like live service games flop and whatever. They want to see Marathon flop and it'll teach Sony a lesson. It's like, guys, you have to understand like that's not how this is going to work. If Marathon flops like in a similar fashion, like I mean, it's hard not to say Concord. It's not going to do what Concord did, but if it completely flops and it's just a total failure and it dies, that's, you know, Sony's not just going to suddenly say, well, I guess we should stop trying to make these types of games. Like, no, they're going to keep trying until they succeed. So the sooner they succeed, the better, because we do have to keep in mind that, you know, their pursuit of having some successful live service games is not going to stop. Now, my hope would be if Marathon dies, which hopefully it doesn't. But if it's just that's how it's going to be, it just dies and nobody cares. Maybe Sony will wake up and be like, maybe we just should do something with The Last of Us or whatever, you know. You're saying I could easily get a code for it? Why be? Oh, you're talking about Oblivion? Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, ooh. I don't know. Maybe. That's where I'm like, I'm getting to a point of like, don't make me do it. Don't make me play Oblivion. Dude, I cannot. I don't know, man. It's like if Starfield comes to PS5, right? Like, I don't know, man. You think I might love it? Come on, bro. I may not have played Oblivion, but I did play Skyrim, and I couldn't do it. I'm assuming Oblivion is very much like Skyrim. Ray says if it's not your type of game, MBG, don't play it. Did I get a code for Indiana Jones? I did. I booted it up for actually, you know what? Hold on. I forgot to do something. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I did get a code for Indiana Jones. I booted it up. It took forever to install. I got it late last night, and it, courtesy of Keymailer, by the way, and you know, thanks to Bethesda for sending over that code. I went to go install it. It's like 125 gigabytes, and so it took quite a while. So by the time it was done installing, I booted up for literally 5 minutes, just because I wanted to see it. Yeah, gorgeous looking game. Have to say the ray tracing isn't like insane in it for the PS5 Pro, but it's a very gorgeous looking game and one of the better looking games I've seen. Truthfully, it looks very very good. I was just kind of enamored with the first opening level. I think they're playing the scene from the first Indiana Jones movie, and I have a question. Um, because in the opening sequence in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, they're replicating the first scene from the first Indiana Jones movie. Are they for that section of the game? Are they actually using Harrison Ford's voice? Like they're just using the actual dialogue from the movie, or did they have Troy Baker do that part as well? Because, dude, that sounds I like that's Troy. Holy shit! If that's true, that's insane. That dude, I am like blown away. I am shocked. I'm like I can't believe how much he sounds like Harrison Ford. I'm actually like, wow. It's like to me it was like very shocking. I'm like, that's not Troy Baker. Like that's not Joel. That's insane. Like it really makes me wonder like how do you do like how did you do that? Like how did you do this? How do you just make your voice sound exactly identical to somebody else's? I mean, I guess I could kind of see it where like you look at Troy Baker's range and it's like, yeah, I guess it's not that shocking because he is a very talented actor, but man, it's just I expected when I heard him as Indiana Jones, to be able to pick up on, oh, there's a difference. I can hear the difference, but I couldn't. I'm like, dude, what? Like I was so convinced that I'm like, oh, this is just the first part of the game. They're just using some of the dialogue from the movies. So very very impressed by that. Not the thing I was expecting to be so kind of like blown away by, but um, it was interesting to play through that section in first person, and I was messing with the. So what's interesting about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on the PS5 Pro, by the way, and I think this is true for all of the console versions. There's no performance or fidelity mode. It's just one mode, and it's running at native 4K on the PS5 Pro at 60 FPS with ray tracing. But I have to say that the ray tracing is not like it's not crazy. It's good. It's like you could see a little bit of it, but like if you were expecting to get like high end PC like path tracing results, you're not getting that here. Just to be clear, but it still looks very very good. Still one of the better games I've seen on the Pro. Ray trace. I think they do have ray trace reflections. Yeah, pretty sure they do. I don't know actually. I'll have to play through the game a little bit more and get further and see some more environments. But yeah, man, it's the facial animations are really good too. I think they. I mean, again, I literally only played it for like 5 or 10 minutes. So I mean, these are truly like as initial impressions get. But were you saying boss is embarrassed for me? Wait, why is he embarrassed for me? Why do they say PS5 has no games? I don't know. I'm not sure. I saw Henry 3K saying, "Why does MBG? Why does Xbox keep giving MBG codes?" Um, I don't know. I mean, they're bringing their games to PlayStation, or some of their games to PlayStation, obviously, and we are a PlayStation channel, so I guess it makes sense. They're trying to see if people who are playing on PlayStation are going to be interested in buying these games. It's a high production value game. They put a lot of money into it. Yeah, you could tell. You could definitely tell. And I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan, truthfully. Like when it comes to the movies, I've never really felt that strongly about them at all. Um, but what's interesting is I find myself a little bit more like I feel like I'm more excited about a game to play when it comes to Indiana Jones than I am actually like watching a movie. Because I mean, even just that opening sequence, like I don't know, the environments look great, and I'll have to see what the combat's like, what the puzzles are like. I did see that they offer a mode to make it easier. Like from what I gather, there is exploration in this game, and so they're going to make it so you can either just kind of explore on your own without any guide or any assistance, and you'll have like the normal difficulty for puzzles. But if you want, you can make it so that you're more assisted, and they kind of, I guess, tell you where to go, and they make the puzzles easier. So I don't. Again, I haven't played far enough to know. Yeah, you did tell me about the guided mode. That's true. I guess I wasn't thinking about it when I boot up the game, but I guess I'm curious to see like how I'm going to end up playing it. If I'm going to play using the guided mode, or if I'm going to actually like the exploration factor or the puzzles. So I wonder if Doom will have ray tracing for PS5 Pro. I'm not sure. The game gets really good when you leave the first main area. Okay, I'll try to keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, I can't give any like type of opinion. The only real opinion I can give is everything I just said. You know, the presentation, the production value seems very high, graphics very good. Very impressed with Troy Baker as Indiana Jones. Um, and I'm hoping it'll be a good game, man, because I think it's so the premium version is out now, JMR, I believe. Like the $100 version that comes with the DLC they're going to release. You gain early access to it. If you want just the base game, I think that comes out on the 17th in 2 days. Doom only has ray tracing on every platform. It's their native lighting, just like Indiana Jones. Okay. You think Thief is more fun than Indy? Oh, Thief, I haven't heard about that game in a long time. Make sure to get the skill books so you can fight better. Okay, I'll try to keep this in mind. I don't know if I want to stream it yet though. I have to think about it. I don't like I hate streaming games like right out of the gate because I can't properly soak it in. I don't know why I can't comfortably stream games. I do want to stream it though. Stream it for the boys. Got to hit a member goal. We hit a member goal. We'll do the stream. We'll do the stream. Oh, Dragonite's on that though, bro. Wow, that timing. Dragonite renews his membership. Thank you so much for that, man. Really appreciate it. Let's get some W's in the chat for Dragonite, bringing us up to 6 members on the day. Love to see it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wes, you want the Crazy Arnold? We'll give Dragonite the Crazy Arnold. That's for Garrett as well. Dragonite and Garrett. What's up, guys? Yeah, so I'll definitely. There's another game I've been playing. So to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you the game I'm reviewing. I've been alluding to it, and I want to talk about. Like, obviously, I can't talk about it yet, but I don't. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you the game I'm reviewing. It's not Indiana Jones, and so I don't want to. I don't want to risk getting in trouble or anything. I don't think I would, but maybe it's just best if it's a little surprise. What's the goal? I don't know. I guess if, yeah. I don't want to. I'm with you on that one. Okay, I don't want to risk it, but I just wanted to put that out there. I just wanted to let you know that the game I've been alluding to that I'm playing, even though I am now playing Indiana Jones, that's not the game I've been playing. Just want to clarify that. Yeah, I got a code for Indiana Jones, so shout out to Bethesda for that. That was very cool of them. When does the mystery review drop? I can't tell you. I can't say that. Pretty sure. But yeah, so I'm like shoulder deep. Okay, that's a weird way to describe that. I'm playing a lot of games. That's all I'm trying to say. Jesus, I can't word today. Dragonite, you're asking what's the goal? I don't know. I guess if we could just hit like 25 members today, maybe. I don't know. Usually I do 50 members for gameplay, but I guess that's a little, if we get 50 members, that'd be great. But no, it's not Oblivion. I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 6. Boss, chill. It's not time yet. All right, just relax. Come on. Yeah, I'm reviewing Fair Games. Yeah, wait till you hear my review of that. It's amazing. Fair Games, Game of the Year, 2020. 5. It's well, actually, it's not even coming out till next year, but they're letting me review it now. Boss, for the love of God, man, how many times do I got to put you back over there? Yeah, dude, that's exactly what I thought about. I was thinking about Tool when I said that. And Matt Fu comes in and drops another 5 bomb for you guys. We need some W's in the chat for Matt Fu. Matt, this one's for you, man. We're getting there. Matt, thank you so much for the support, buddy. That brings us up to 11 members on the day. Love to see it. Appreciate all the support you guys continue to show the channel. I don't know why this disappeared, though. But you know what game I'm eagerly anticipating right now? Well, there's a few games I'm eagerly anticipating, but Days Gone Remastered. I see that Sony is ramping up the marketing, and it's clear that Boss is just not going to stop no matter how many times I put him back over there. They're ramping up the marketing, and there's a big blog post that they put out today where they're going. Boss is waiting for Delta to drop. They're revealing, well, not revealing, but they're talking more extensively about some of the new modes that's dropping with Days Gone Remastered, and it sounds like it's gonna be really good, man. They're talking about 800, like hordes of 800 infected, which I think on the PS5 it was capped out at like 500. So I'm pretty stoked, for this. I'm sorry to hear that, Ice Queen Gaming. Yeah, I hope you start to feel better. Wolverine or Blade? Both. All 800 on screen too. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I forgot that Bethesda's making a Blade game. I want to see Wolverine first though. Mr. B says larger hordes. That's cool. Wolverine versus Blade. I think Wolverine probably wins that one because of his healing factor, if I had to guess. Deadpool game? There was a Deadpool game. I think it was published by Activision. Yeah. Unknown. I'm pretty sure that the Bethesda developed Blade game is. I'm not even going to say I'm pretty sure. I'm like 100% certain that that's going to drop on PS5 as well. Yeah, it would be genuinely shocking if it didn't. But I'm looking forward to it, man. There are a lot of Xbox games, honestly, like that are down. I don't know how far out they are, but games like State of Decay 3, games like Blade, you know, even Fable. I mean, I'm a little nervous about Fable, but I'm interested in it. You know, like Xbox has got some stuff, certainly, down the pipeline. Arcane Leon. Is that how you say it, Leon? Yeah, Gears. The interesting thing about Gears is apparently that's going to be that's going to be announced at the Xbox showcase, and that's going to be really interesting to see revealed. Sony should bring SOCOM back. They know we all want it. I mean, I'm not too worried about the IP that Sony's going to revive because they're just going to do what they're going to do. I'm right now when it comes to Sony, my main focus is like I want to see some Wolverine. I want to see some Ghost of Yotei. I want to see some gameplay of these games. Saros and Hellbound 1981. Another legend comes in and drops the third 5 bomb. He fires the third missile. Brings us up to 16 members on the day. Hellbound, what soundbite would you like, my friend? What soundbite would you like? W's in the chat for Hellbound. Sergeant says another one. Another W. It just sounded like I farted, bro. Actually, what the hell was that? I I think I might have a loose floorboard here. Well, that's concerning. I'm going to have to look at that later. Hellbound says your choice. All right, Hellbound. How about I'll play this one just because I don't get to play it that often. I mean, I know it's kind of antithetical to the situation, and Dragon Knight comes in and drops another 5-bomb. He fires the 4th missile. Man, you guys are getting a full-blown member train going here. Dragon Knight, thank you so much for that, man. Thank you for keeping the member train going. We are now 4 away. You're saying one news website slandered Detective Seeds, and now he's proven right? I think I saw that, yeah. What's wrong with these websites, bro? Like, come on. Yeah, Detective Seeds, he was, I don't know if he was the first, but I know he was talking a lot about the Oblivion remake and giving a bunch of info on it. And it seems like he was correct. So, there you go, man. Any news on the PlayStation Showcase? I think William was saying something about that earlier. I didn't quite catch it, though. And Matt Fu comes in and drops another 5-bomb, and he does it. He does it. He takes us past the 25 mark. We're sitting now at 26 members on the day. And then Dreadful83, another 5-bomb. 5-bomb after 5-bomb. JMR says, keep it going. W's in the chat.
Holy shit.
Bro, I have been basically training Boss. He's jumping more and more every day, and he's getting stronger, and he's jumping higher and higher, bro. He's becoming an absolute beast. I'm going to have to update that like video clip because he jumps higher than that now. But Dreadful, Matt, Dragon, Hellbound, Corey, everybody, anybody who dropped any member gifts, thank you guys so much. We're now at 31 members. I'm going to update that. He's going to evolve. Well, I'm trying to make sure he's working out, you know, burning off some of those treats. But it's time. It's time, boss. He's going to evolve. William, you're saying still waiting on a few other remasters and remakes from PlayStation that haven't been revealed yet. I'm curious what they'll be. Got to train boss so he can hold his alpha status? Absolutely. All right, let's feed the beast.
Boss, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
All right, let me update the member goal. All right, so I'll see if we can hit it. You know, I'll encourage you guys. Well, hold on. I don't know if this is going to take up too much of the bar, though. So we're at 31 members on the day. So if we can hit 50, we're 19 away. We'll do some, because I wasn't actually planning on doing it today, honestly. But if we could hit 50, I'll make it happen. We can do some Indiana Jones gameplay. We'll do a stream on the PS5 Pro. You're saying my members are making boss overweight. I'm working him out. I'm exercising him. I'm also giving him slightly less like wet food when I give it to him. He eats dry food and wet food, but I'm trying to, like, you know, balance it out. I think his legs are getting buff, though, dude. Mrs. MBG was telling me, like, when I was having him jump up, and he, like, sometimes he'll stand up before he does it, and his legs, like, flex. There's, like, 4 more remasters and remakes from PlayStation that I'm waiting on. You love to see Infamous Second Son. Boss isn't skipping leg day, no. Well, I definitely suspect more remakes and more remasters from Sony on top of the new games. But yeah, the question is like, well, what else could it what could it be? What games have Sony not remastered or re-released or remade? Some from external studios. I do, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, and I don't know. I mean, we get stuff like Patapon coming out of nowhere, and like Freedom Wars remastered. You know, like these. I mean, these are IP that are owned by Sony, so I don't know if they're going to be stuff on like that level or some bigger stuff. Definitely not Bloodborne. I'm not expect like I said, I'm not expecting to hear anything about Bloodborne until next gen. See a remaster of God of War 2018. Do you think they're going to save the remaster of God of War 2018 for when the show is ready to release? I mean, yeah, I think they'll get kind of clowned on for that, but you you kind of understand. You know what's funny is like, people I think get really vocal and really start to kind of hate on some of the things that Sony's doing, like for example, The Last of Us Complete Edition, but I had this article up here from Push Square. It says The Last of Us is actually growing in popularity. This weekend, HBO debuted the first episode of the second season of its adaptation, and viewership actually rose by 10% over the original season's premiere. According to Deadline, the episode managed 5.3 million same day cross platform viewers in the US, up from 4.7 million. It shows that the series is actually getting bigger as more fans get hooked on Naughty Dog's post apocalyptic world. One other interesting statistic is that viewers of the original season rose by 150% over the past week, suggesting audiences have been scrambling to catch up on the story ahead of the new season airing. So, you know, I feel like when we look at stuff like this, it becomes easier to kind of understand why Sony is coming out here and being like, we're announcing The Last of Us Complete Edition, where it's part one and part two packaged together. It doesn't hurt anybody who already owns those games, but it definitely, I think, it gives the opportunity to create some genuine synergy, right? I don't really use that word often, but some synergy between the show releasing and the games. And I think people sometimes forget that the main goal that Sony is trying to achieve with these adaptations for both movies and TV shows is to get more people into the PlayStation ecosystem, people who are not paying attention to the games, people who don't know about the games, or people who are not really paying attention to gaming that much at all. They see these movies, they see these shows, and they find out they're based on games. You're not going to get every one of those people to come over, but you definitely have a new audience that you can potentially tap into that may say, you know what, maybe I will go buy this game and check it out. I mean, how many people were suddenly interested in The Last of Us Part 2 game after they watched season one and they never maybe played either game, right? I did watch episode one. Um, I would like to give my thoughts on it, but I didn't. I didn't put that in the title or thumbnail, so maybe we could do like a little spoiler cast or something. But I did watch it with my wife, and all I'll say is I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was like amazing. A lot of build up. They definitely changed some stuff up, and that's the stuff I would like to kind of talk a little bit about more in depth. Episode 2, like this upcoming Sunday, yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one to watch. Do you think non-gamers are gonna pick it up? I mean, I think there's a chance that some might, you know? Abby's a shrimp. Where did her muscles go? What did they do? Where are the muscles? Did you see Chronos, the New Dawn gameplay reveal it on IGN tomorrow? No, I didn't see that. I'll have to check that out. That game looks good. Yeah, Chronos looks good, man. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, MRPD. That's exactly what I was thinking. And mm, 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 mm. It looks silly like now Ellie's bigger than Abby. I mean, I feel like it kind of is okay because yeah, as I was watching the show, the actress that they had playing Ellie does not look nearly as intimidating, both from a physical stature standpoint, but also just like, she looks very different from Ellie from the game. So I think it kind of makes sense to maybe change up Abby's look a little bit. But yeah, I think it actually would have been cooler to see it reflected a little bit more accurately, where it's like, you know, there's this one specific actress that I think she played in the latest Alien movie, and people are saying like, "Bro, that's Ellie." Like that's like adult Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2. And it would have been cool to see maybe like her cast as Ellie and then some just like really intimidating buff chick as I don't know her name. I don't know her name. But yeah, I mean the vibe of, I would say, season 2, without spoiling anything, but the vibe of season 2 from what I've watched, because obviously I've only seen the first episode, is a little bit different from the game. Not entirely, it's a little bit different, but there are uh, quite a few scenes that are ripped right from the game that I have to say, once again, thoroughly impressed with the level of detail and accuracy, where like, wow, okay, um that looks identical to the game. Like I'm very impressed with that. And I thought that was cool. But yeah, there is I don't know if this is, I don't think this is a spoiler, but you remember that scene when Ellie's at the dance and she's like, dancing with Dina and kisses her and whatnot. And then you remember like when Joel comes to her defense, bro, it was so funny in the show because like in the game, Joel just kind of comes over and like pushes the guy's shoulder, and the guy's just like, what the hell? In the show, they had Joel straight up, I mean, fucking like linebacker, like check this guy to the ground, and it was pretty awesome. I'm like, okay, so that's an improvement. He straight up threw him to the ground, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's I want to talk about it, but I'm afraid because like people are gonna come in and they're like, I didn't watch it yet, so I don't want to spoil anything. But maybe maybe after next week's episode, because again, without spoiling anything, it seems like, well, I mean, is there anybody here who hasn't played The Last of Us Part 2 yet? I think I'll wait till after next week's episode, because it seems like next week is, or this week, I mean, this Sunday is when things really start to kind of heat up and the conversation is going to become very interesting. So maybe that's when I'll do like a episode 1 and 2, like spoiler cast or whatever. Yeah, I see. The only reason I'm afraid to really say much more is because they did change some stuff. They added some stuff. And that to me is what can maybe come off as a bit of a spoiler, where it's like, if I'm telling you stuff that's happening in the show that didn't happen in the game, but it's kind of it's like adding on to the game, which is very interesting. And I can tell, I will just say this, it seems like they're really going to drag out part 2. Like they added quite a bit, and I'm like, "Oh, all right. It makes sense, and it's cool to get that like added context, but it makes me think that they might end up, I mean, I could see this going to like season 4 and they're still finishing up part 2 or something." Bend the knee to The Last of Us 2 ABG. Do not resist. Replay the game. I did. I replayed Remastered and I got the platinum, bro. I'm not as much of a hater as people think. I'm not as much of a hater. I it's a love-hate thing with The Last of Us Part 2. There's a lot to love, but there's some things I just can't accept. The next PlayStation event is when? Well, I mean, last year, Sony did a state of play, I think on May 30th. The year prior to that, they did a showcase, I think like the last week of May. So, yeah, if we're going based off of previous timelines, it seems like the next Sony show should be sometime next month. But there was also rumblings that they're trying to decide on whether they want to do a showcase or state of play. So, who knows? Maybe they'll go. Maybe they'll shoot for June this time. Yeah, that's true as well. Their quarterly earnings, I think, are happening in May. Oh my God, MRPD. Oh, I keep forgetting that. Did did they say when that's happening? I'm like not like I get it. If you're a Borderlands fan, you're probably excited about that. But man, that takes the wind out of my sails, bro. That takes the wind out of my sails. That's a September special. Is that what they said? I don't remember. Let me check. I'll see if it comes up. Special stated play coming this spring. Bro, Sony's going to show off a third-party game and not their first-party games, man. Surely it has to be separate, right? Like here's a state of play and then here's a showcase. It's no offense to Borderlands, bro, but I don't like that. I don't like the idea of Sony doing stated plays for. All right, maybe I'm just being unfair because if this was like a stated play for like Metal Gear or like GTA or something, I'd be losing my mind. So I won't deny that it's the fact that it's a game I'm not interested in, but man, I don't know. It just makes me nervous that like that's not going to be the big thing you do, right? Like you're going to do more than that, right? Let's talk about this PlayStation 6 handheld. So yesterday, we briefly talked about how there's a leaker, Kepler L2, who basically said that the PlayStation 6 Portable, that's what they're calling it for now, will not be as powerful as the PlayStation 5, which isn't surprising. But a lot of people, I think, maybe don't know that Kepler L2 also revealed that the SoC, or the system on chip design for the PlayStation 6, is pretty much near completion. It's pretty much done. It entered the pre-silicon validation with A0 tap out, scheduled for this year. So, for those who don't know what that means, it basically means that Sony has decided on what the PlayStation 6 is going to be, and they are seemingly by the end of this year, like it's going to be fully locked in and it's going to be ready to, kind of go to the next step. And like the wheels are in motion for the PlayStation 6. Like the planning phase is done. Now they're beginning to roll out the execution of building up to actually releasing this thing. One of the things that Kepler L2 revealed is that there are two SoCs for the PlayStation 6. Not one, two. And it seems that, like I said yesterday, there's going to be a dedicated home console and a dedicated handheld. And so what he's now revealing, or what this leaker is now revealing, giving a little bit more detail on what exactly he means by it's going to be less powerful than the PlayStation 5. Essentially, it seems like this PlayStation 6 handheld is going to be somewhere between a PS5 and an Xbox Series S. So if you can imagine what the PS5 is capable of, you imagine what the Xbox Series S is capable of, this handheld is going to be somewhere in the middle. It's going to have less than 40 compute units, and it's going to be designed to run at very low voltages. Now, they didn't go on to say any more about what we can expect performance-wise from this PlayStation 6 handheld, because it's going to be running on, as of right now, yet to be announced GPU designs. So just a little bit more information there. I'm really, really curious to see how this turns out, man. Really curious, because I don't know if people are gonna, like, are people gonna be super excited about this? You're saying the Switch 2 killer. I don't know that I would call it a Switch 2 killer as much as just having an option, like for people who are enticed or intrigued by the notion of having a handheld. Because, like, if you look at the Switch 2, it's like, hey, you could play Elden Ring in handheld mode now. You can play games like Cyberpunk. The only solution Sony has for that right now is streaming. No, it will not run Mario Kart, and that's the thing. That's why it definitely won't be a Switch 2 killer. But I think it could just kind of fill in a gap, right? That right now is unfilled for Sony, where like Sony doesn't have a viable, I think, true alternative to, or maybe not alternative, but competitor. Like, I think, yeah, if Sony releases this dedicated PlayStation 6 handheld, I see that as that's competition to the Switch, right? Like, there's no other way to look at it. Joker Thief, you're saying you just ordered your Steam Deck OLED? Nice, dude. You think handheld is a gimmick? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it'll be the more popular choice, you know? Like, I think most people are going to go for the PlayStation 6 and stick with, like, the traditional console. But I think having that option where it's like an additive, like, do you want to have this basically PlayStation 6 portable to go with it as well? You think handhelds are overrated? We need something like a foot held? You might be on to something, XS. You might be on to something, bro. Maybe that's where the true innovation lies. It's an untapped market. The first ever PlayStation foot held. There you go. Ray, you're saying you have a portal and pretty much use it every day. You love it. GTA 6 on the go. I mean, that could be quite compelling, actually. I didn't think about that. Assuming GTA 6 does not come to the Switch 2. What's interesting to me is that this dedicated handheld is apparently going to be more powerful and more capable than the Switch 2. It makes me wonder, I mean, really, like, what the pricing of it's going to be. We talked about this again a little bit yesterday, but still curious about it. We need devices that can be operated by your nose, building on the DualSense blown to the mic technology. Lick the stick. Lick the stick. Lick it now. Lick the touchpad. Yeah, can't wait to be playing the next Astrobot and suddenly a prompt comes on screen, lick the blowhole. How immersed are you? I'm too immersed. Clip that. Clip that. B Flesher, you're saying the Series S has magnitudes ahead of Switch 2. If this thing is above a Series S, which I find hard to believe given crazy power consumption, that'd be incredible. That's what I was kind of surprised to hear as well. But I don't know, man. We're talking about like next generation GPU architecture and technology. So who knows what they're cooking up, man? How do I feel about Death Stranding 2 having a skip the boss cinematic feature, or aka easy mode? I'm fine with it. That's not how I'm gonna play it, but if somebody's playing it and they're like, I don't want to fight this boss, like having an option, there being an option doesn't bother me. As long as it's not forced onto me. You know? It doesn't confront me. Licking the touchpad could inspire very immersive experiences. Well, suddenly answering the question, is there sex in this game, will become much more important for developers. I am so, you have to admit, Sony is liable to do something truly stupid with the DualSense 2. You have to admit, they are at risk of doing quite possibly the dumbest thing ever done with a controller, because, I mean, it really is like, don't tell Kojima, bro. Oh, man, the skits write themselves. The skits write themselves. Don't tell Kojima about that new DualSense feature. Sorry. I mean, you think about like what the DualSense did, where it's like the haptic feedback, the triggers, right? I mean, where do you go from there? Like, we saw them patenting stuff where the controller apparently can get hot or it can get cold, and it's like, do we really have to do this? Like, do we really want to go there? Or like, you could smell stuff, and it's like, come on, dude. I understand the need to innovate and to get more senses involved, but it's like, I don't think I like where this is going. I don't think I like where this is going. Maybe they're gonna have something like a next gen haptic feedback technology, or like an accessories you can buy. You like fucking you buy these like things that you just like put on your shirt. They just like stick to your shirt, and they're supposed to mimic the feeling of getting shot. You want it to be immersed. We want all your senses. We want you to really feel like you're genuinely scared to take any damage in this game. They already have. Wait, that's a thing. They already have that for VR. Are you serious? Oh, it's like a vest. Oh, hold on. Okay. Oh my God, you're right. Feel the sound. Wooger? It's like $400. Wow, okay. An extra element of sensory immersion. It's as close as I'm ever likely to get to experiencing a Spinal Tap concert. Oh, this seems to be for like a music, I think. Okay, I guess I'm not surprised that stuff like this already exists. Of course it does. Haptic bodysuit. I'm sorry, I'm just imagining an alternate timeline, man, where like the E3 still exists. They still have live presentations at E3, and you get like, I don't know, Herman Holst out there in the full PlayStation 6 haptic feedback bodysuit, showing you just how immersed he's going to get into the Horizon universe. Sold. Absolutely. Don't you want to smell Abby? Oh my God, bro. Okay. Be careful, Sony. Be careful with the way in which you plan on innovating. Turns into haptics it turns sound into haptics like gunshots and explosions. I mean, that, I will admit that does sound pretty cool. That does sound pretty cool. But I just wonder how annoying it would end up getting, you know? Oh, man. All right. What were we supposed to be talking about again? PlayStation 6 handheld? See, I would prefer this. Like, everything we just described sounds like some kind of like hellscape nightmare, you know, that is bringing me back to the days of, you know, Joy-Cons and shit, and the whole gimmick of, you know, what's it called? The motion control technology. It's just like, it was like, that was truly, I think, the worst gimmick, where it's just like, this sucks. I mean, I understand we got to go through this phase, but this sucks. So I'd much rather be in a position where it's like, all right, we're just gonna do a dedicated handheld. Does that sound good to you guys? It's like, yeah, that sounds great. It's an optional dedicated handheld that you could be like a partner device with your console. I'm cool with that. Not mandatory, but yeah, the PS3 6-axis. One of the funniest things with the PS3, you know, there's always like the boomerang controller, right? Oh man, that's a classic with the nuke. The boomerang controller. But then they're like, all right, what if we just like released a DualShock 3, but it had like no internals and it felt like a feather? And I remember people were so mad about that. They were like, "Are like, is this a joke?" And that's just so funny to me. I don't know why. Like some of the decisions that were made during the beginning of the PS3 era, I mean, you know, were truly just baffling. But they learned. They learned. They figured it out. Luckily. You wanted the boomerang? I'm just trying, like, I don't even, why would anybody think that that's a good design though? Like, who wants to hold a controller where like you pretty much have like 6-7 inches, of controller just jabbing into you, you know? See, something sounds almost like sick about it. Something wrong. So the energy's off today. I don't know what's going on. Sergeant's like, bro, stop. I'm not kidding when I say I'm not trying. I'm not trying. It's just happening. So I'm gonna have to pause. Yeah, pause. Haptic pod. Kojima's writing all of this down. That has to be the best part. Just the idea. Just the idea of Kojima like getting these crazy ideas, being like, you know what though? Sony, hire Kojima. Give Kojima like a similar position that Mark Cerny has. Let Kojima work with Mark Cerny on the development of the PlayStation 6. Please. Broccoli Rob. Broccoli Rob, bro. Broccoli Rob says you got to use your meat to use the N64 controller. Yeah, it might be time to close up shop. I am tearing up. The N64 controller is horrible, dude. Quite literally, I think the worst controller. I know. I'm trying to stay on the rails, man. I'm trying so hard not to not to go full tilt here. Kojima's the beta tester for all of this. I know. I'm trying to be careful, Titus. I can't fall into that trap. We can rise above it. It's not too far gone. Johnny Gaming, you're saying you didn't really have too many issues with the N64 controller. I mean, yeah, I guess when you're a kid using it, you're just like, whatever, bro. Like, this is just what it is. You were there for the N64. You didn't have a problem using it. I think maybe, yeah, I had minimal experience using it, but when I look back on it, I don't remember having a problem with it. But as an adult looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, it looks kind of nightmarish in a way. We know, Broccoli Rob. We know you were. So about that Oblivion remaster. Right. All right. Not sure where we went there for a little bit. But I had something on my tongue. I don't know what it was. So things are just getting progressively stranger, and I'm getting concerned at this point. The Duke, the first Xbox controller. I mean, what would we, before we move on, like, what would we say is truly the worst controller of all time? What is the worst controller of all time? I mean, genuinely. That O-Pad was mad. PS1 MRP. That's an interesting take. I mean, you're talking about the PS1 controller without the thumbsticks, right? PS3. Well, I guess the thing about the PS3 Boomerang, I don't know that we can count that only because it never officially released, but that probably would go down as the worst controller of all time. Sega Mega Drive. Hold on, I gotta look this one up. Sega Mega Drive controller. What does this look like? It doesn't look that bad. I never used it though, so I don't know. I was expecting to see some type of like monstrosity or something. See a lot of people saying N64, Xbox Duke. So it seems like the consensus is either between the Duke or the N64 controller. The Resident Evil Chainsaw GameCube controller. Hold on. Oh, holy shit. Okay. Yeah, that might take the cake. The RE4 GameCube controller. This one might take the cake. I wonder if it'll let me bring it up. Behold, the worst controller of all time. That's pretty. I mean, that's real bad. You don't think most of the chat's old enough to remember controllers before the mid 90s? 80 controllers were rough. How do you hold this shit? I mean, this is definitely a collector's item though, man. I mean, do you think there's somebody out there who actually beat RE4? Like, I'm not talking about somebody who's doing it for like clout or whatever, like on stream or something. I mean, just like by themselves, they're like, I can't wait to play Resident Evil 4 with my Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller. And they actually did it. A dude in his basement. Yeah. That's pretty cool though. That's pretty neat that they did that. Wasn't there like, hold on, wasn't there, before we move on to Oblivion, wasn't there a controller that released for a From Software game? It was like was it a From Software game? It was some kind of mech game. I don't know if it was Armored Core, but there was like this insane entire setup. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Space Orb 360? It's not a real controller. No way. That's got to be collector's. I'm pretty sure that's a real controller. Like, you can actually hook it up and use it. Steel Battalion. That's what it was. Let me see. And was this a From Software game? Oh, this is wild. Hold on. Let me get a clearer image of this. Okay, this... I don't know that this would be the worst controller of all time, but the most complex, convoluted. I mean, holy shit, dude. What is even going on here? Look at that. William, you're saying that's epic? Apparently, so let me... Yeah, what is going on here with this controller? Wow, you can buy it for like $550 on eBay. Steel Battalion controller and game set. $1,150. God damn, dude. Was this an Xbox exclusive? It would be, right? Okay, no, this was not a From Software game, by the way. This was a Capcom title. It released in 2002 for the original Xbox. So I think it was just an Xbox exclusive. And it seems to have gotten a pretty good review overall. 83 on Metacritic. That's crazy, bro. Well, the world of video game controllers is a wild one. The ColecoVision controller. All right, I'll look that one up. That'll be the last one. There's no way. Wait. What? What year? Hold on. What year did this come out before I show this? Because that's September 1983. Hold on, let me just get the whole ColecoVision here. That might be that might be the worst controller ever, actually. Even worse than the chainsaw. Let me bring this up. You weren't kidding about stuff that was released in the 80s, man. Oh wow, that's way too big. Dun 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 dun. The worst controller ever made. Holy shit, bro. It's just straight up a phone. It's just a phone, man. ColecoVision video game system, 1983. Remember the 80s. Oh, let me shrink this. That's wild. That is a wild... Can you even call that a controller? It's like a phone with a knob, bro. 80s business simulator. To play a game, you had to type in a code. Wow. The Nintendo Virtual Boy, it played games in just the color red. I've heard things about the Virtual Boy, but holy shit, is like it really just played games in red? Oh, I gotta look this up now too. Okay, wow. So the Virtual Boy literally just looks like... Oh my god. It's like Terminator, bro. It's like Terminator Vision. Hold on. Here we go. This picture says it all. Let me see if I can bring it up. Look at this. That's all small. Wasn't this Nintendo's biggest ever failure? Terminator Vision. That thing looks like a nightmare. The Power Glove for the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's peak VR performance right there. I mean, is that like the whole concept of the Virtual Boy? Like you get more immersed, you put your face in it, become the Terminator when playing Mario Tennis. You played it, and after your vision was effed, it's just like a health risk. Wow. People were getting sick playing. Oh, wow. This thing sounds like a train wreck. I'm going to have to watch a video. Somebody definitely made a documentary on this, right? That's true, William. Nintendo released VR cardboard, Microsoft PC controller from the 90s, a precursor for the Duke. All right, hold on. This is actually pretty fun checking out this old shit. There was something else prior to that that somebody recommended. The Power Glove. Hold on. Okay, what is this? This is like the first picture that popped up on wait, that's not even real. Okay, that's on Etsy. A wearable LED Nintendo Power Glove. So this looks like an actual marketing image right here. I'm going to bring it up. They really got some Terminator shit going on here, man. Was Nintendo like heavily inspired by the Terminator or something? Like the kid even looks like the Terminator. Bro, like what? So what exactly did this thing do? It's a great image. That's a great marketing image. Watch the AVGN Powerful or episode. It's a classic Power Glove episode. Angry Video Game Nerd. I think I've seen that pop up on my feed. I never watched it though. I might have to check it. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what this thing was supposed to do. The 80s were weird, man, in some ways. Like the 80s were awesome, but also a little bit weird at the same time. I wasn't even alive in the 80s, but just looking back at some of the stuff. Like there's some stuff in the 80s that I feel like I just totally resonate with. And there's other stuff where I'm like, was this but people really were on board with this? Like, I think I don't know. I don't know, man. The ColecoVision, I think, might be the wildest thing I've seen, though. Well, no, maybe not, because like the controller for the ColecoVision is nuts, but I think the Virtual Boy might be the craziest thing I've seen. Like the idea you're gonna put your face in here and play games, and you're just gonna see red, and it's gonna mess you up. I mean, that's kind of nuts, dude. Yeah, ears. Yeah, that seems like that was a decision that was made while they were under the influence. The 90s. So hold on. There's two others. There was the 90s PC controller from Microsoft, and then the what was it? Action Max. Unico, you're saying your gifted membership never went through? Hold on, let me double check real quick. No, it did. I guess check to see if you got charged for it or not, if you're able to, because it didn't come through on my end. The last gift I have here is a five membership gifts from Dreadful83. That's kind of weird. Unico, I think you've gifted a membership before too, so I think it did work for you previously. It did get charged. They're probably going to refund me later. I wonder why. Huh. I appreciate that anyway, man. All right, so the Microsoft controller from the 90s, a precursor to the Duke. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. This is almost giving me some boomerang, some PS3 boomerang vibes. It doesn't look that bad though. But yeah, you can see that this is an early, like the earliest rendition, I guess, of a of like the Xbox controller in a way. So it's kind of alien like looking. Looks like an alien ship or something. Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. But this is like the precursor for the Duke. We said the Action Max. Was it a console? The Action Max console? Oh. It just straight up came with a gun. Okay. Huh. Yeah, console gaming, I think in like the 80s was pretty weird. It was all over the place. Space Orb 360. Okay. What the bro? Okay, this might be the weirdest controller I've seen. I'm not sure. Like, you guys tell me, I'll bring it up. Wait, okay. This is the Space Orb 360 controller. What was this used with? That's so weird. It's just a ball, bro. Any news on the Max Payne 1 and 2 remake? Not yet. No. Really, you think it looks kind of cool? I mean, it's really strange. Like it looks like it would break really easily. It's in pre-production. Is this Wait, this is a modern controller? Huh. The device was released in 1996. They still apparently they made one for the original PlayStation? Weird. Yeah, I couldn't see myself using something like that. How much money to play Ghost of Yotei with a ColecoVision controller? Oh my god. Well, first off, William, is that even possible? That would be funny as hell to try to do, but I don't even think that's possible. Do you think it is? Damn it, what code do I need to get on a damn horse? It's probably an adapter out there. Now I gotta look it up. ColecoVision PS5 adapter. Actually, I don't think it's possible. No, I don't think that's possible, bro. I bet you there's some kind of adapter where you could use that Resident Evil chainsaw though. Oh, hold on, I lost my stream. Well, we got way off track here, but still a little gaming history lesson there. Hold on. I gotta go back to my studio. Namco Neocon controller. The Action Max used VHS as cartridges. Yo, that's wild. That's actually wild. I can't like I'm trying to like envision the concept of I'm gonna play my new game and then you just put a VHS in. That's crazy. Yeah, the early days of these video game consoles, wild stuff, man. We've come a long way. We've really come a long way. The Namco Neocon controller. That'll be all right. That'll be the last one I look up. It actually doesn't look that weird. It's a little strange, but definitely not the weirdest one. Oh, wait, hold on. There's one for PlayStation. And, okay, that's fucking weird. Hold on. All right, this will be the last one I showed. Now, this one definitely looks weird. I think I was looking at the wrong one. All right, last one I'll bring up on screen. Did anybody... Oh, hold on. Why is it so big? Anybody ever use this? Yaron, no, I didn't talk about the Oblivion leaks yet. We're going to move on to that in just a moment. And we're going to go over that info. Real boomer tech. That looks evil. What do you do with the middle knob or whatever, dial? Like, what the hell do you do with that? Is it for a specific game? Very strange. Ridge Racer 4. Are you serious? Wait, is that really what it is? That's what it's for? That's the analog stick. Wow, that's very interesting, man. Very interesting. We do have to talk about the Oblivion leaks, though. Really quick, it says here, I'm seeing this on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, Nintendo Switch 2 Canadian pre-orders start April 23rd. So, the latest leak I have here, the Oblivion subreddit has noticed the Wizard's Tower in the background, which is separate DLC in the original release, so it seems like some DLCs may be included with the Oblivion remaster. Eurogamer says that Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered shadow dropping next week. A remake or remaster of Bethesda's beloved Oblivion has been expected for months and has been the subject of numerous industry whispers. Eurogamer understands Bethesda's current plan is to shadow drop the game next week on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series consoles, including Game Pass. So it will be a day one Game Pass drop, which is pretty big. Yaron, you're saying here, I was thinking about what you said, the Bungie. You said that the Bungie was $4 billion, and that's money Sony would have been able to remake every past game beloved by fans. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the sad reality, right, Yaron? The amount of money that Sony spent on Bungie, over $3.5 billion. I mean, even just $1 billion of that could have, that could have remade or remastered like so much of Sony's back catalog, or just developed new games. I try not to think about it, because it's really actually sad when you put it in that, when you see it from that perspective. The Oblivion remaster / remake codename is Alter, per the image leaks. So there are images out here that have leaked. I'm afraid to show them because I don't know if they're official yet. I don't want to risk the stream getting taken down. But if you go to the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, maybe I can link it for you. But it says, first, there is the Alter project, which is a remake / remaster of Oblivion. The discussions for it being a full remake are still ongoing. It is currently using a pairing system. Oh, wait, this was from 2 years ago. Shit, okay. So see, some leaks turn out to be true. There's going to be a physical version, by the way. So I'm going to put this link in the chat. I'm not going to put it on screen. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you click this, it'll take you to the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit. And from there, you can look at the images. They have them linked. So you could check that. We could kind of look at the images together, I guess. I would like to see some comparison images. The key art looks pretty sick. There is a deluxe edition, and yeah, there will be a physical version you can buy. The images are kind of blurry though, but Okay, there are a couple of comparisons. Wow, yeah, it looks a lot better. There's one image I'm looking at specifically of the character holding the sword. I mean, this looks more like a remake to me than a remaster, just based off the overhaul of the texture work and whatnot. I mean, they're calling it remastered. All right, Hanzo, take care, man. Um, yeah, I think they're officially calling it remastered, but a lot of people are, I think, are saying this looks more like a remake than a remaster. I think the colors look better. Are you saying it looks better, but the colors seem muted, like all brown? Have any of y'all heard of Sky Oblivion? Fans are modding all of Oblivion in the Skyrim engine. That literally sounds like something that Bethesda should be doing. It does, yeah, Wes, you're saying it does look like a remake. Let me see if there's any other info here. So the Oblivion remake seems to be coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Day One Game Pass, and Steam. No Switch 2 though. That's for right now. It seems like there's no Switch 2 version. My God, the entire Gaming Leaks Rumor subreddit is filled with Oblivion leaks. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, it's the game's pretty much confirmed. There are screenshots out there. The big thing about this, like the thing that I think is making people kind of go over the edge into hype mode, is the fact that this is apparently going to be a shadow drop, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I'll post the link one more time. I'll post the link one more time so you can check it out. Days Gone isn't going to sell well if this drops. I mean, yeah, it's interesting actually because yeah, quite a few games are coming. Quite a few games are coming next week. So, sheesh. Yaron, you're saying Fallout 3 remake is coming later. Has that been confirmed officially? Titus, you're excited for it. Michael, you're saying you already bought Days Gone. I mean, this is one of those situations where I feel, I'm on the sidelines watching. It was in the FTC leak. Okay, you think I should try to get a code? I mean, I guess we'll see. I'll think about it. Maybe if I see some of the gameplay, I'll be able to decide. Some say Morrowind was better than Oblivion. Don't think. Get the code. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about now during the FTC trials. It kind of leaked out that they were doing like a Fallout remake or something. The shadow drop is kind of surprising to me, man. I have to say. Like, I would have assumed that a project this big that generates this much excitement, I would have assumed that that's something you kind of announce and give a bit of marketing for. But I don't know. I I wonder what the reasoning behind that is. How long is this game? You're likely to spend around 173 hours for 100%. Um, Seems like it's about an 80-hour game. It's like pretty long. So it's a meaty game. It's long without the DLC. Surprised they aren't dropping it during the showcase. Yeah, I would have thought maybe something like that would have been kind of nuts, you know? Like imagine they announce Oblivion remake during the showcase and then they're like, "Oh, it's out now by the way." I mean, that would be pretty nuts. I would love to know the reasoning behind why they're doing it now. Another reason I'm thinking it's kind of strange is just because of how crowded the zone is with like you got Forza, you just had Indiana Jones release, you know, you have I know there's another game coming out on May 6th, another Microsoft game. I mean, they're just not nonstop. Remember how Ninja Gaiden 2 Remake just got shadow dropped? You think it's Microsoft cutting their marketing budgets? Uh, huh. I mean, I guess it's a possibility. Expedition 33 is on Game Pass. Oh, dude, that's going to be awkward. Wait, could they yeah, that game comes out that week too. And that's going to be on Game Pass day 1 and then Oblivion's going to be on Game Pass day 1. Jesus. I mean, I don't know, man. I think at that point I think you might be flooding the zone a bit too much there. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true. Maybe they don't really count the ports as new games, I guess. Meet the Cheater, you're excited for Expedition 33? Different audiences. South of Midnight and Adam Fall got dropped within a week of one another. Yeah, well, they do seem like pretty different games. I mean, they're both RPGs, but very different RPGs. So I guess that's true. You know, I don't know that. I do think there probably is some overlap though. There, man. Xbox got games now. I'll give them that. Says Wes. Games are about to start flowing. It's kind of weird the way it all worked out, where it's like Xbox gets criticized for basically years for like not having enough games or not like releasing higher quality games, and the struggle was real for like a whole generation. And then even at the beginning of this generation they were still struggling, but now they're finally at that point. But it's also like, yeah, we're just going to kind of put them everywhere now, you know, like now we're kind of going to kind of go third party. And like I guess I don't know, maybe that's just how it had to be. Anthony, you're excited for Expedition 33 as well? Yeah, I mean, the wheels are turning now, man. The gears are turning, I should say. The second they were almost competitive, they're like, you know what though? I mean, I'm not necessarily complaining because it would have been interesting to see a different outcome. Like it would be interesting to see what Sony would be doing right now if all of these games, not counting like Indiana Jones or Forza because they're like ports, but if these games were not coming to PlayStation, like I mean, you really have to wonder like what would Sony be doing right now? That's a genuine question I have in my mind. Like would Sony be doing the exact same thing or would they be doing something different? I'll tell you what, pretty sure they wouldn't be questioning whether they should do a showcase or not. Tell you that much. So, but I don't know, man. That's just we're in a different timeline. You think they would be doing the same thing? It's possible. It's possible. But yeah, I mean, we're in a different timeline now and I can't say I'm complaining, man. I mean, look, the way I view it is if you're an Xbox player, you're probably subscribed to Game Pass, you're happy, right? Like you're getting these games in your service that you're subscribed to that you play on. If you're a PlayStation player, you're looking at it as, well, some of these games we were originally not even supposed to get at all. And sure, if you're excited for it, like we'll buy it. That's fine. So it doesn't seem like anybody's really losing in this scenario. You know, I mean, I would like Sony to talk more about their games, of course, but you know, in due time. Well, they have been talking about Death Stranding 2 and Marathon, so it's not like they're not talking about their games at all. I don't want to make it sound like Sony's not talking about their games. They are. I just think that the conversations are a bit different. Forza on PlayStation, crazy times indeed. Yeah. Yeah, like something like Indiana Jones doesn't feel that crazy because it feels like, that was a game that was originally going to be multiplayer. I think Forza is the one that's going to feel kind of crazy. Like that's the one that's like, whoa, all right. A line has been officially crossed now, you know? You got both services and get PS Plus Premium for $120 a year. You got grandfathered in on the new PS Plus price. Being mad, you're saying, not gonna lie, but enjoying South at Midnight. It's generally fun and sort of relaxing experience. Super psyched for Expedition 33. Gonna buy for PS5, even though I have Game Pass. What's your reasoning behind that? Just curious. What's up, man? What's up, King Fathom? Fathom? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I mean, the only thing I'm subscribed to right now is PlayStation Plus. Yeah, I don't know. Game Pass is something that I any of the games that are going to be dropping on Game Pass as of, South of Midnight's the only one that isn't coming to PlayStation, and that's definitely not a game I would sub the Game Pass for. But oh, you want to play it on the Pro? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you're buying the deluxe version on Game Pass money. Chris, you use PC Game Pass. All right, I'm glad I got it right. Johnny Gaming, I know, dude. That was my game of the year for 2024. Silent Hill 2. Well, I'm assuming you're talking about the remake, unless you're talking about playing the original for the first time. But yeah, Silent Hill 2 remake was awesome. Fantastic game. One of the best. Yeah, apparently Bloober Team's new game is getting an official gameplay reveal tomorrow. Pugmaster, you're saying I have Game Pass and I still have a PlayStation, but I still play Xbox games on my Series X. That's how I play games. I think Silent Hill 2 got snubbed at the awards. I was glad to just see it nominated, though. I did get the platinum for Silent Hill 2 remake, and it was somewhat the most annoying part for me for getting the platinum for Silent Hill 2 remake was I had to follow an entire playthrough guide, I think, for all of the collectibles, which was very annoying, but that was pretty much the last thing I had to do, and I'm like, I'm not going to let that stop me from securing this platinum. Yeah, there is like 8 different endings. That was a little bit annoying as well, just because you had to kind of mess with, I think, your saves and whatnot. But, well, the thing about getting the Silent Hill 2 remake platinum, not the more it's coming back to, I'm remembering now, it was a little bit more annoying than I'm making it sound because you do have to properly plan. Yeah, you need 6 endings for the platinum, and you have to like plan them out though, because like there's like certain points of no return where if you go past this point, you're gonna have to do a whole new playthrough if you didn't create a save file, which could be nightmarish. If you're like you don't want to play the game 6 different times, just for a single trophy. But as long as you plan it out correctly, you can get it. Yeah, that one was a bit challenging. I won't lie. I had to take a little break after that. There's no chance I'm going to be getting the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Platinum. You might be in that club alone, or just with very few people. You always get the water ending every time you beat Silent Hill 2. Yeah, it was so cool seeing the different endings. Some of the silly ones too. Well, it is good to know that Bloober Team is still working with Konami, and they're seemingly going to be doing more Silent Hill. That's my guess. Uh, what do you think they should remake first, Silent Hill 1 or 3? See, I think that's a really interesting question because there's such a massive difference between the two. Like, I mean, they're generational differences in those games. If they remake Silent Hill 1, they're going to have to take a lot of liberties, I think. And I feel like to me that seems more interesting. Like I want to see both remade, but I would kind of really be interested to see like a PS1 game remade from the ground up. Now that's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. I think Silent Hill 3 would probably be a bit easier though. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Going with one just makes more sense, but I feel like it's probably much it's a much bigger undertaking. I think they could get away with doing a remake of 1 though and making some changes if they have to because I think people trust them now. We'll see what they end up doing. I got a couple things I got to read to you here. Over on the PlayStation blog, Sony Bend is starting to hype up Days Gone Remastered. The PlayStation blog says we reached out to Kevin McAllister, creative and product lead at Bend Studio, for some additional details about the anticipated remaster, including its notable new additions. So we first asked how Bend Studio feels about revisiting their flagship game. Days Gone is a special game for us, says McAllister. It's a special game for our players as well. We got the opportunity to remaster a game that we released originally on the PS4 in 2019 and ported to PC in 2021. 6 years after the original, technology has improved. We have the power of the PS5 now. There was a lot more that we could do to showcase the game's potential. When asked about the PS5's capabilities, and how they're enhancing the Days Gone experience, the graphical improvements we've made, you'll see the difference, McAllister explains. There's increased lighting, increased shadow quality, increased fog depth. For example, nighttime is now darker, the moon is more natural looking, the blue sky is more natural too. Days Gone is a very realistic looking game, and we've taken that to a new level with the PS5. Sounds like a great fit for the remaster's new and improved photo mode with more lighting options and instant day and night switches for beautiful environmental photography. McAllister continues, gameplay wise, right off the top of my head is increased horde sizes. That's very specific to our new gameplay mode, Horde Assault. And these hordes, they get big. Like how big? So, for example, the biggest horde in the story is the old Sawmill Horde, which is a mission that has 500 freakers. In Horde Assault, we have hordes that range up to 800 freakers. They cover the screen, that's for sure. So he brings up McAllister bringing up these huge hordes felt like the perfect time to ask him to dig deeper into the remaster's new Horde Assault mode. He says it's our new survival arcade mode, a fresh, unique take on the core Days Gone gameplay loop. We took everything you had in the story mode, built upon that, and took the challenges that we released post launch and evolved the concept. So now you have these big open regions, you're facing a bunch of hordes, and they're coming from different angles on you. You're seeing hordes at totally new locations than what you saw in the story, and the hordes at familiar locations are even bigger. Horde Assault gives you all the tools at your disposal from the start. New players can jump in and play right away, and they can experience the core open world gameplay of Days Gone. But now you're having the maxed out motorcycle with you and some new weapons as well. So they did confirm new weapons. There's also human enemies alongside evolved freakers like breakers, reachers, and screamers. It's a lot more chaotic, but it's true to the Days Gone gameplay experience. It's a really cool and fun mode, and I think fans are really going to enjoy it. Another new mode coming to the remaster is a speed run mode. Speed run mode is separated from the other modes, he explains. When you go into speed run mode, you can play it on any of the difficulties. There's an always on screen timer that will pause during cinematics. Each time you go through, it records your time to that next difficulty. At the very end of your speed run, you get a special graphic showing your detailed stats to share. We asked McAllister about the thought process behind this addition. With Days Gone, there are players that have tried and done speed runs, but it wasn't a big thing. So giving new players who may not have tried the game before a speed running mode, maybe that's exactly what they wanted. Now they're able to jump in, have fun, and use the expertise to finish the game as quickly as possible. I respect those players because that's something I can't do, and it's really impressive to see. So high stakes survival, another major addition, and perhaps the most intimidating is permadeath mode, which is exactly what it sounds like. If Deacon dies, the run's over, no saving, harsh, but also very fitting for the Days Gone world. According to McAllister, the players are to thank for helping the team cook this up. Permadeath mode was implemented because of community feedback. It's actually something we wanted as far back as 2019, so this was the perfect opportunity to add it. We've seen players create videos doing things like trying to go through a whole run taking no damage at all, only using the very weak boot knife. Well, that's the ultimate challenge. or what's the ultimate challenge? Deathless. So now you're really getting that true survival experience. I think players are going to dig it. You can play the mode on any difficulty, and there's 2 settings to choose from. If you choose the whole game, wherever you die in the story, you have to start from the very beginning. Your save file gets deleted. If you choose per act, so say if you die at the old sawmill horde again, you only return at the beginning of that act. That's going to save you hours of gameplay in this mode. But for the players who do play the whole game, we salute you. We also think trees are going to be the biggest cause of death in this mode. I may be speaking from experience. So I know there's a bit of quite a bit of reading there, but I wanted to go more in depth with this stuff. The permadeath mode sounds insane in the sense of like I don't know who's gonna do that. Like playing the whole game where like if you die one time, that's it. Your file gets deleted. I mean, that sounds nuts. And he talks about trees being the biggest cause of death. And yeah, from like accidentally running into a freaking tree. Um, so I don't know, man. It's getting me excited. I think Days Gone Remastered has a pretty good amount of newer content here to offer. The Horde Assault mode is definitely the thing I'm most excited about by far. And yeah, man, 800 zombies or freakers. I still like to call them zombies, but 800 of them on screen. That sounds crazy, dude. I can't wait. All right, let me come back to the chat here. So, guys, we are approaching the 2-hour mark. We are sitting at 31 members. I wanted to try to push for 50. I don't know if we'll hit that today or not, but no Death Run Souls players will definitely like this. Yeah, I mean, that's nuts too. We'll do like a bit of a last call here if you want to drop any more support, any memberships, any super chats, direct donations, anything like that. Now is the time to do it before we wrap it up. Yeah, I'm keeping it a bit short today. I'm actually, I'm having some issues with my voice today. I don't know why. Like my throat's killing me again. I probably the change in weather. Like it was, very nice out yesterday, 60, 65 degrees, sunny. But the day before it was like freezing temperatures. I don't know what's going on. So it's like really, you blame the chair. I don't think I'm getting sick. No, I think it's probably allergies more than anything. I mean, look, it's your choice. If you guys want to drop membership gifts to get to 50 right now, if you do that now, I will play Indiana Jones right now on stream. But if you don't, if you can't make that happen, I will still be streaming it. Just probably either tomorrow or later in the week. We will be doing a stream for that. And I will be talking more about it, obviously, my thoughts on it as I get further. It's going to hit 90 in Orlando on Monday. Jeez. I'd be just like, F it, I'll play Indiana Jones. 90 degrees, bro, in April. That's kind of crazy, actually. That sounds worse. I'm not going to lie. That sounds worse than what it is right now. And Gavin Hillock comes in and drops a single gift for you guys. Gavin wants to keep the member train going. I appreciate that, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I did see that, MRPD. Yeah, I'm trying to like avoid seeing much more of Metal Gear Solid Delta. I'm trying to avoid that simply because, I mean, I've seen more than enough where I am beyond sold on this game. But it did look sick, yeah. I think that brings us up to 32 on the day. Shems, you don't have to apologize for not being able to support, man. It's all good, dude. I appreciate anything I can get, El Unico, you're saying, you know what? If you have to turn on streamer mode, it's best if you play it off stream. I don't. You're saying streamer mode. Are you? I'm trying to understand what you're meaning here, El Unico. Do you mean like? Do you mean like? I'm Chris. I'm gonna hurt you for not. Whoa, Chris. I'm not gonna hurt you for not donating. You're saying for the music. Oh, okay. Actually, I didn't even think about that till literally just now. Yeah, I didn't. For some reason, that didn't register in my brain. Yeah, you're totally right. Well, ooh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. I'm assuming they do have a. If they don't have a streamer mode, I guess you can just turn the music off. Yeah, that feels like it'll kind of like dull it down a little bit, you know? Yeah, that's true. John Williams, bro. Of course. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I mean, yeah, you can't really have any. I mean, I could probably still do it. Just, I mean, it makes it so that the stream can't be monetized. You know, usually, it's usually what happens. The Furious with a super chat says an analyst at Nico Partners said Sony may downgrade the PS6 to cut costs to keep it at a comfortable launch price in light of tariffs. Nightmare scenario. You think that's a nightmare scenario? I mean, it's not ideal. I don't know that I would call it a nightmare scenario. It's definitely not what you would want, though, right? I don't know. I mean, there is this kind of fear of like, there is this kind of fear that if you don't make the PS6 powerful enough or really stand out enough, I mean, it's definitely at risk of just being like, this is a PS5 Pro Plus, not worth it. But if if you have to choose between that or this console's got to be $800, I'm not sure which is worse. Like, I feel like the $800 console scenario sounds like a nightmare, truthfully. But yeah, that's very interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out, man. I am nervous about it. And we have King Sam here with a £10 donation, which I appreciate, bro, saying, "Hey, MBG, tried Monster Hunter Worlds last week, but quit after a few hours as the gameplay didn't quite click with me. Am I like the miner that gives up too soon before finding gold? Should I give it another chance?" Great question, King Sam. I think you might be in that situation. The reason I say this is because, I can only give you my personal experience, but when I played Monster Hunter World, um, or no, that's the one you said you're playing. Yeah, so when I played Monster Hunter World, I was thinking of Wilds for some reason. When I played that game, it took a good 20 plus hours for me to feel like I know what the hell I'm doing and I feel comfortable playing this game. And you might think to yourself, well, if it takes that long for you to click with a game, then maybe it's just not for you. And I would say usually that's the case, but at least for me with Monster Hunter Worlds, it was a bit different where I didn't enjoy like the first 15 to 20 hours because it felt so overwhelming and I was just struggling and I didn't know what I was doing, but I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And somewhere around that 20, 25-hour mark, something just clicked. And then I played it for another like 75 hours and I became like a pro at it and really enjoyed it, got good. And so there is a chance. There is a chance that you might be the miner, getting close. You're saying you played it for, let me see, King Sam, you said you played it for a few hours. So, I mean, I can't guarantee that it'll ever click for you, man. But just based off of my personal experience, it definitely took longer than I would have expected before that game clicked with me. But sometimes it just goes like no matter how much you play a game, it just might not click. But I would say, like I'm probably an outlier. Like I don't think it takes most people 15 to 20 hours for a game like that to click. So I'd say in your case, maybe like a couple more hours, maybe up to like 10 hours at most. If you're really just not feeling it at all. Because I will say, like by the 10 to 15 hour mark, I was feeling a sense of progression. Like I could tell like I am progressing. it was just painful and not really smooth. And so if you're by the 10 to 12 hour mark still not feeling anything, yeah, maybe it's just not going to be for you. But it's a good question, man. Monster Hunter is definitely one of those games that you got to get a feel for. Titus, you're saying, or King Sam, you're saying you're going to give it another shot. Yeah, let me know how that goes, man. I'll be curious. You're fully expecting an $800 PS6 at least? Well, what if the held back PS6 is the $800 PS6? Now that sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, that sounds like it could be a recipe for disaster, dude. I hope that doesn't happen. Let me apparently pre-orders for the Switch 2, according to Bill Bilkoon, Switch 2 pre-orders are now set to begin on April 21st. So 21st for the US, 23rd for Canada. Okay. Titus, you're saying worry times. Yeah, I mean, it is stressful, but we just gotta, I try to just visualize it as it's just the river's flowing, you know? I don't know. We're just flowing with it. You need more games available for the system, then you'll get one. Yeah, I don't think Sony could make a handheld for $800. I mean, would people really buy that? I'm sure there would be some fans who would buy it, but I mean that would be like a super low volume product. But maybe I don't know, maybe they will go in that direction, dude. Maybe that is the direction they're going to go, where it's like an $800 handheld. Be quite surprising. Rivers flowing. MBG been taking yoga classes or something? No, I try to have that visual when I get stressed. I don't know. I don't know if it works, but like when I see shit that stresses me out and frustrates me, I just try to remember that it's like I just have to ask myself the question like, are you like, does this have anything to actually like, does this actually involve you at all? Like, is there anything you can do to influence this situation in any way? And if the answer is no, then that's how I visualize it. It's like, yeah, because you're flowing in the river, bro. You think you're going to be able to change that? No. So I'm worried about my own little space. That's the visual MBG uses to pee in a public bathroom. I mean, yeah, it helps, right? Can't hurt. Shem's marathon hype. I can't tell if you're serious or not, though. You say marathon hype, but then you're laughing. The Furious is saying that's a good way to approach things. Anxiety sucks. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to live in the future, right? It's not good to live in the future. It's not good to dwell in the past. Got to be in the present. So there's a couple of grounding techniques I use. One is I get a hammer, and I start to just like slowly hit my hand with it, and I just keep doing that, and maybe I get a little bit harder each time until I don't think anymore, until I'm not thinking about anything except the pain in my hand, and that helps ground me. Other times, I will, how'd you know, Gaming Survivor? Titus says that's dark. I'm just kidding, but I don't actually do that, by the way. That was dark. Yeah, I don't know. I was just spitballing there. MBG is emo. No, I don't actually do that, bro. That's the worst thing I do when it comes to like self-harm would be lifting weights. which is good. You know, like it's like a healthy way to harm yourself. That's the funniest thing about weight training, by the way, is that's literally what you're hurting yourself in a good way, though. Like you're rewarded for it. But you ground yourself by holding a really long metal pole in an electrical storm. I mean, yeah, that's one way to literally get grounded. Gaming Survivor, I got a Series X tied up. Hold on. I got a Series X tied up on a torture rack. That's what you have, Gaming Survivor? Jesus, dude. Break out the belt. There's definitely some unhinged energy today, for sure. It's been like just creeping in the stream, creeping in, creeping out. I feed it PlayStation games. Yeah, I tie up the Xbox Series X on a torture rack, and I force it to watch E3 2013 on repeat. The hell are we doing here, man? How Dillo just straight up says hentai. Like, yeah, man, sure. Bro's projecting. Can Boss the cat sense the energy you speak of? Henry 3K is like, you people are wild. Boss, he's kind of a strange one, man. Like, he's not afraid of me at all. The only thing I can do that startles Boss is if he's like in the other room and I just like very quickly run out there like stomping my feet. He'll like panic, which is understandable because he's like totally caught off guard. But then he sees it's me and he's like, oh, okay. And that's the only thing. That's the only thing I can do to like freak him out. Anything else I do that seems weird or that would, I think, frighten normal cats, he's not fazed by. Mrs. MBG points that out all the time, how he's kind of like a weirdo. Like he's used to me. He's so used to me. I think that's good though. I think it's good though, because I mean it means he trusts me, you know? He forces his Xbox Series X to watch The Last of Us show Endgame and say you never made a game. You'll never make a game or a show adaptation as good as this. I mean, that sounds like truly insane behavior. Titus, bro. Everything good, man? Titus usually seems like the No, I know. Titus seems like the more the one that's better put together, right? And then but he's the one that says like the most out of pocket shit at just random times and you're like, "Oh. Okay." It's always the ones that seem like they're so well adjusted. Yeah, the Minecraft movie apparently is doing phenomenal. Have you been seeing the clips of what people are doing in the movie theaters? I mean, come on, bro. Come on. I mean, shit's ridiculous. MBG will be picking up Indiana Jones. I was actually given a code from Bethesda, so I am going to be playing it. And Microsoft showing Sony how to make a good movie. Minecraft movie. Dude, the Minecraft movie looks so cursed. I mean, apparently it's doing really well, and I guess people like it, but it looks so cursed to me. Another TikTok trend. It's cringe. Is that what it is? I didn't know that. The popcorn thing. It's so stupid, man. You know it's bad when they have to put like disclaimers at the beginning of the movie telling people not to do that shit. The movie had gone full Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's gonna be making money for years, if not decades to come. Damn. Do you think your channel attracts those who can never recover from the console wars? It's like a help group for the battle that rages on. I should rename my channel Console Warrior Support Group. I don't know, man. I feel like there's definitely all these different islands. I don't know. I like to think we're not. Are we an island? I don't know. Maybe we are. I think we're a hybrid in a way. You know, like I think there's a lot of people who have moved on and they're like, yeah, times have changed. But I think there's also some people who are like, you know, they're still ready for battle because they just don't know any different. You know, they don't know how to not be ready for battle, and like we have to kind of we're trying to like accept them, like we get it. You know, like it's cool, but that you do what you got to do, man. I remember the console wars. Fortunate Son plays in the background. Dude, the idea of Credence Clearwater Revival being the backing track for the console wars, bro. Oh my god. Choppers in the distance. I mean, look, man. The console wars, there were some good times. There were some good times. You should have a phone-in show called Hold the Line to continue the battle. Oh, dude, that sounds wildly entertaining, but also like an implosion just waiting to happen. Your best friend died in the console wars. I'm sorry, it's a Furious. So sorry to hear that. I mean, it sounds like a joke, but bro, like, weren't people stabbing people for the PS3 or something at launch? It's like a real thing. Like people were actually doing violence onto each other to get their hands on these consoles. I mean, that's the darker aspects of the console war. I don't even think that's not even like a console war thing, is it? That's just like just like crazed fans. Console war PTSD. Took an arrow to the knee during the console wars. Ah, okay. I understood that reference. You wouldn't kill for Cerny. I'm telling you, that PS3 thing I think is real. I'm pretty sure there were like reports of like stabbings over the PS3 at launch, at like midnight launches or something. That's just theft. Yeah, right. It's just straight up criminals, bro. You took a 357 to the spine. Yikes. Well, yeah, I mean, Forza is going to be launching on PlayStation in just like 10 days. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think that pretty much that's it. I think Forza is the game that just kind of crosses the line and ends it. And I think after that it's going to be Gears and then Halo. And yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what Sony does, man. Didn't Xbox and PlayStation come out recently and say they low key sponsored the console war and it was good for business at the time? I don't know. I mean, there's been a bunch of recent interviews with like executives who I guess can kind of talk a little bit more about some of this stuff. Yeah, I'll be playing some Forza. Yeah. Peter Moore said, oh, that's funny. Did he say that? I mean, it's not surprising, man. Are there specific publishers you get codes from? Not necessarily, no. I mean, there's a few, but I got to see how I can maybe get in contact with Sony, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how long this holds. You know, I'm testing the waters. I'm seeing how it goes. So skipping Hellblade and Starfield. Well, Hellblade, I don't know if I don't know. I'll see about Hellblade. If Microsoft wants to work with me with Hellblade, I probably will do that just because I did like the game. I did play it. It definitely has some shortcomings for sure. It's not the game that I really thought it was going to be, but I can't deny that. Like, I can't deny that Ninja Theory, they definitely have talent. I really liked the kind of conclusion to Hellblade 2 and the finality, or like the final part of it. But Starfield, I don't I don't think I can do. That's where it's like I have my limits, man. I don't want to like force myself to play games that I have no interest in, because at that point, that's where like that will have to be a business decision where it's like it'll be good for the channel, and if it's good for the channel, sure, maybe I'll force myself to do it. But what makes that hard is that like I don't want to like force myself to play a game that I know I'm not going to enjoy, and then it basically is like, man, this sucks. And then it comes off as like, so you're just shitting on this game. It's like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to set a game up to fail like that. But I feel like that's different from like, there's a game I'm excited to play and I'm not enjoying it. Like, and then I'm playing it and I'm not enjoying it. I feel like that's very different from like, I chose to play a game that I knew I wasn't going to like and I'm not enjoying it. You know? That is true. Yeah. Yeah. The 100K sub number. Yeah. I mean, I've not really thrown my weight around at all. I guess this is my first time trying. Well, it's like I said, I am playing a game right now that we will be talking about, and without giving anything away, I think it will make for an interesting conversation. I do. At least I think so. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'll find out that it's actually not going to be nearly as interesting as I thought. But either way, that'll basically be the beginning. Indiana Jones, I guess, is kind of a start as well. So there's that too. But try not to swing around that 100K. You know what I would love to make happen? I mean, I don't know if I'm going to even attempt to pursue it. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if I'm going to try to pursue it. And I may find out if I try that it's not going to happen. But Death Stranding 2 would be a really good one I would like to review that game. That would be a great game to get early and have like a review ready to go, or like a stream or review or whatever. Just there's something ready to go like the day before the day it actually comes out. That's one game that I would gladly review and be super stoked about. But I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I don't know Sony's procedures at all with that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if they're like super picky or or what. Or if it's like a Kojima thing. Like, I don't know if it's like a Kojima Productions, they handle it. I'm too new to this shit. Took you 200 hours of platinum. It took me a while too. I think it took me over 100, not 200, but over 100. They do look at the 100K. They look at how many are turning up live and how many are watching your videos too. They're getting clever with metrics. True. Yeah. I imagine they probably look at all that. I think it looks good. I gotta ask Kojima. Kojima-san. He's gonna be like, were you that guy that was trying to look at my necklines? And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Weren't you that guy that was constantly posting stuff under my tweets about Blue Box? I'm like, no, that wasn't me. That was some other guy. The Furious are stoked about Death Stranding 2 after seeing the image quality of Decima on the Pro. It's going to be crispy. Yeah, I like the description. I am curious to see if Death Stranding 2 like basically turns out to be the best looking game so far of the generation. Because it looks like it might be. It looks insane. Yeah, we'll get on it. We'll get on it. You thought I was snapping during Blue Box? Sorry, man. No, I was. You weren't wrong. The snapping. Yeah, no, I don't know what the hell was going on. Looking back on it, like I was definitely in some kind of manic state. At least for a little bit. There's no like I can't even pretend that there was no mania there. I don't know what it was though. I think it was just because it was something I was like riding some kind of wave and everybody was riding it too and I'm like this is great. But, you know, eventually all the waves got to come down. You were legitimately concerned it felt weird? Well, that concerns me. Jesus, that concerns me. Was it that bad? Man, that must have been pretty bad. The fappening. Okay. When it comes to getting the streams on Spotify, yeah. Well, all right, look. If it makes you guys feel any better, because I do see some of you guys, you talking about like some of the stuff I should do on the channel. If it makes you feel any better, I am doing stuff. Like I am in the process of doing things. Like I am making some moves, and I'm slow. Okay, I'm very slow. I'm a slow person. All right, I'm slow. But you know, I am doing some stuff, and like I don't know, I was considering making a Twitch account and considering that as a possibility. I don't know, like, you know, Spotify. I got to get a move on. Spotify to me, I'm curious to see how that works out because you know what freaks me out about it is like, it doesn't freak me out, but I'm just not sure that like this podcast and stuff that I see on Spotify, they don't seem like streams. You know what I mean? Like what I'm doing is like a stream where I'm interacting with a chat, but I don't know. I guess there are people who like they would prefer to listen to that through Spotify. I guess that makes sense. It's not that crazy to imagine. Just leave it MBG. I hate change. Not as slow as YouTube when it comes to sending you that 100K plaque. So apparently, what I was told, not by YouTube, but somebody else told me this, but they found out through another YouTuber that was having a struggle. Apparently, I have to go through all my content and either remove or like I have to remove all my copyrights. Essentially, if I understand correctly, like that's what I have to do before I can be considered for that plaque or whatever. And that's definitely going to take some time. Like that's not something I especially because I've done so many streams, like I'm going to have to really wade through that. And I think after I do that, I should be able to get one, which is, you know, I'm not in any rush. I'll be honest. I'm not in any rush. Like it'll be cool to one day maybe get that. But, you know, I'm not necessarily that type of person. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Like trophies are cool. Plaques are cool. You know, feeling like you have something that represents the achievement, you know, is always nice, but I'm not in any rush per se. Besides, I always had this fear that like, well, we're gonna go back down to 99K, so I don't mind waiting. You know, the idea is to get to 101K. We're pretty close to 101K. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. They won't send it to me unless I delete my blue box videos. We're I think about 150 subs away from 101. Okay, so. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's the only problem is I don't visualize this as a podcast though, but it technically is, I guess. Are you thinking about doing a separate podcast or just posting your streams in audio format? Well, I mean, the idea would be posting the streams in audio format. You know what I mean? For now, anyway. Can't wait to see what the PS6 controller looks like. For the players. Hold on one sec, guys. For the Gooners. You're saying it was blatantly obvious there was nothing to the blue box rumors. But amazing to watch someone descend down their own rabbit hole. Yeah, well, you know, there is an argument to be made that it was like, can you create something from nothing? And it's like, I guess for a little bit, yeah. Because, you know, that was the craziest part for me, is just eventually coming to the conclusion that, wait, there really is nothing here. Like that was crazy to me. Like this really, like there was really nothing. Like I started to kind of realize that, okay, this might not be what we thought, but the idea is like, no, it's just straight up nothing. Like that was crazy to me. Like just nothing. Like there was nothing ever there. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It still feels like it was a bit of a social experiment. The power of self storytelling. You know what though? I'm kind of grateful for it. I am, because I feel like I actually learned something during that whole experience. As strange as that sounds, like I feel like it taught me some kind of lesson of like, yeah, man, see what happens when you like it really showed me like the power of belief, man, in a bad way, actually. I'm not going to lie. And like people, like we are able to kind of really, if we want, just delude ourselves. If you really believe it, you know, it was real to me, damn it. If you think about it, it's been one wild ride after another. It's, you know, you got the Last of Us 2 saga, that whole thing. Then the next year you got the Blue Box saga. And you got the Sony PC saga, and then you got the showcase disaster of 2023, and then you got the Xbox multiplat saga. It's looking over the different arcs of the channel. It's pretty funny. Drive by Joe, you're saying that Blue Box time was the best. It got you on LSM. Yeah, that was, God, of all the things, bro. Saying you should be grateful not everyone makes it out of these holes. Dude, I know that. I was thinking about that, man. I was thinking about that. I'm like, I don't know if it's luck. Maybe it is, but like, it's definitely true that there are many moments on the channel where it's like, you shouldn't be able to make it past this like filter, bro. You know? And I got lucky somehow. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see what it all builds up to. I don't know if it's building up to something. I actually didn't talk to Colin when I went on. I talked to Dustin, which was cool. It was a cool conversation. Look, you know what's weird though is like knowing it was during that time. I don't know what the hell I sounded like, bro. God knows what I sounded like. I was on. I don't know, man. I think I may have actually been having like some kind of mental shit going on and not realizing it. That was kind of weird. But I don't know. Things have changed quite a bit. I've changed. You appreciate the mental spiral. I was there to help you get your mind off your dialysis. Well, see, there you go. See, there's always a silver lining. There's always a silver lining here. It's funny. A lot of people tell me that. They were like, it's always interesting to see people talk about the stuff they appreciate, like through like certain sagas, right? Where like a lot of people during like the pandemic still tell me how like watching those daily like PlayStation news videos or covering the PS5 or that when we did Press X podcast, they were like that helped them get through that. And then in 2021 with the blue box thing and then in like 2023 starting to stream more and stuff. It's cool. It's cool. I'll always have some kind of I can't imagine myself doing anything else at this point, which is I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but like I really do enjoy this. It's not perfect. Nothing's perfect. Everything has its difficulties and its challenges and its ups and downs. That's just the way life is. Nothing's perfect. But it's cool, man. I do have I have I think more than anything where I'm at right now when it comes to like thinking about where the channel is, but also like what we cover and thinking about always trying to keep in mind like the biggest thing I try to do on the channel is just be genuine and authentic. And sometimes that can be a bad thing, if things aren't going well. But that's where it's like there are definitely times where I feel like I'm not feeling as good about gaming as I used to. But then there are other times where that it's like the opposite. It's like I'm feeling like everything's amazing in gaming. So there's a bit of an up and down sometimes with that, and it's somewhat cyclical. These feelings can last for like a month or two at a time. But I also realize that it's like I think that just comes with the nature of what I do here, where it's like so this is just a little bit of insight I'll give you guys, where people ask me like, how come you don't stream games more, and how come you don't do like extensive reviews and stuff like that? And the reason being, although I do review games, I just keep it super casual and just very chill. But I don't do this stuff because the I basically made a rule for myself when I started my channel, which is I don't want to turn the act of playing video games into what feels like a job. And the reason for that was because I care about video games too much. I mean, the actual act of playing video games, like enjoying video games. I want to monetize the discussions and the opinions and the thoughts and the kind of social aspect of it. But I don't want to monetize the actual playing of video games. And the main reason for that, break the rule and make more money. I mean, the main reason for that is because I have like this fear, and the fear is valid. The fear comes from I've tried to do it before, and I can tell like, this changes something about it. The fear is that the feeling of enjoying a video game that I've been looking forward to playing, or just video games in general, is going to be replaced with something else. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but this is why I've never really committed to like, I'm going to become a gameplay streamer. Now he'll never play Sekiro. Well, that's actually a good example of what I mean, dude. Like, I did talk about how I don't know if I'll ever go back and play Sekiro. Never say never, of course, but my approach to that is kind of that's what I messed it up, because I was approaching it from like this is what my audience, they want to see me play this game, and I'm intimidated by this game. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to record myself playing it then for the first time. And that just fucked it all up, because it's like, I can't not focus on the fact that like I'm recording this and people are going to see it. And half my focus is on that, to where it's like, now the game isn't getting my full attention. I'm getting more annoyed more easily, to whereas it's just like, I think it's also just the immersion factor. Like, when I play games, I want to be immersed, you know? And and it's no offense to you guys, but it's like there's nothing less immersive than like okay, the last time I was streaming a game, I forget which game it was, but I wasn't talking like almost at all or like very little. And I saw like people were like very good to talk a little bit more, and that's where I'm like, oh right, yeah, I'm supposed to talk more. Well, you know what I mean? And that's where I just realized like it's not I'm not good at it. Like just flat out, I'm not good at streaming games. It doesn't mean I won't stream games at all. I get stupefied. Yeah, there we go. Disturbed. I like that Disturbed song. I'm not a huge fan of Disturbed, but I actually like that song. So what I think I would prefer ultimately is to play games that I feel most comfortable with. I think it gets what seems much less intimidating to me is playing games that I'm from like that I know how to play. You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm doing. I'm comfortable, and therefore it's much easier to kind of just naturally ease into it and balance out playing a game and streaming. That's your favorite song of theirs? It's a good one. That's why I'm like sitting here thinking like I think I'd rather just play Indiana Jones for a while, get a feel for it, and then stream it. Obviously talk about it, tell you guys what I'm thinking of it about it, but see that kind of is the nature of like if Days Gone, you know, when Days Gone Remaster comes out, of course, like I want to stream that day one, you know, like I don't want to wait on that. But yeah, just always thinking about that stuff though. Saying it'll take practice and then it'll be natural, just like playing on camera was. You're probably right about that. I mean, I've never committed to it. I do wonder if I like committed, if I like made a second channel or a Twitch or whatever, and I committed to just doing gameplay streams. All right, The Furious, I appreciate you hanging out, man. If I like committed to just doing gameplay streams, would I get used to it? You know, like would that feeling eventually go away? Probably. Probably. But would it I also wonder, like, would it alter when I go to play video games off stream? How would I feel then? How much does it alter, you know, my feeling there? I'll think about it. I mean, look, I'm like I said, I'm trying to take baby steps here. Trying to take baby steps. I also try to one of the most important things I try to keep in mind is what people who are currently subscribed to the channel, what they expect. Because there is an expectation. I think right now the base expectation is we cover PlayStation, we follow PlayStation news, we follow the PlayStation events, and we're always kind of keeping up with what's going on and having those conversations and having those discussions. For better or for worse, you know, like this past week, it's seemingly been all bad news for Sony almost, you know, like The Last of Us again being re-released, you know, Marathon not really wowing many people, unfortunately. And then also the price increase. And it's like, you know, there's no denying that on a week like that, things are gonna, you know, people are gonna feel pretty, oh shit, I'm reviewing baby steps. Oh, I accidentally gave it away. People are going to feel, you know, PlayStation players who are subscribed to this channel, I think are going to feel like, well, this kind of fucking sucks. like where's the showcase, damn it? You know, like, and I get it, but I don't know. I do wonder what the next saga of the channel is going to be. I have been thinking about that. I have been thinking about it. I'm like, it's been a little while. What's the next saga? Ignore this chat if you're reviewing Lost Soul Aside. Well, there you go. You know, it's not that. You'd have a few subs on Twitch to start, practice there, fewer eyes, add YouTube when you're comfortable. I was, yeah, it's an idea. I was thinking about maybe trying to like dual stream or whatever, but I don't know, man. I don't know if that would, I could see that being disastrous as well, trying to manage two chats. There we go. How do I ease into streaming games? Manage two chats now, bro. MBG's next arc. Well, I do appreciate you guys, you know, supporting me through thick and through thin. It does mean a lot. You know, I obviously care very deeply about what we do here. And I know it's not perfect, but I think we got a pretty good thing overall. And I try to keep that in mind, kind of like what you're saying, where it's like, I feel like I've dodged a couple bullets along the way. I think I've gotten out of situations that otherwise I think some content creators maybe would have, you know, like I almost got stuck in the quicksand a couple times. And I was lucky to get out of it. And so I don't want to squander that, you know. I don't want to ruin it. I want to improve it. But saying the Xbox 2 and Colt, and then their live streams are audio podcasts. Oh, they do audio podcasts. They put their stuff on everything. Okay, well, yeah, I guess I am a little bit late to the party then. I didn't realize that. You can see both chats simultaneously on OBS. They'll stream like one chat. Oh, I did not know that because I never did that. Oh, that's really cool. Shit. Yeah, I was looking at it on my OBS yesterday. I'm like, it seems like they make it really easy, like really, really easy to put these things, you know, to stream in multiple spots. I didn't realize they made it that easy though. That's actually pretty shit. Ray, I'm sorry I missed that, dude. Yeah, my bad. You can combine both chats into one. That's very cool. If people would play games and stop fanboying, PS and Microsoft, uh, I think even say fans' lives would be a lot better. Well, it's like I said, man. The thing that feels so awkward for me right now is that I am here doing what I usually do, covering the news, and I think we've been doing it. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I can't speak for the audience or you guys, but I feel like we've been doing a pretty good job overall of like talking mostly about games. You know, we talk about the business side and the platform stuff as well, but I think I've been doing a pretty decent job incorporating the talk of games. But I don't know. Yeah, you guys obviously have to be the judge of that. Xbox is third party. I actually do remember that. That was kind of wild. Yeah. But, you know, I'm seeing even crazier shit these days, man. For our mental health, this is great. Or lack thereof. Wait, Hanzo, you're back? Hanzo's back. I appreciate that, Piper. Yeah. Well, we will see. Things are ever evolving. I also try to keep in mind that I think, you know, I'm pretty easily readable, I think, you know. I think that's kind of what brought people to the channel and how we've been able to maybe get to this point. I think people have always been able to pick up on how I feel about stuff. You know, like, are you hyped for it? Are you down on it? Are you um indifferent? And, you know, I think I've just always kind of, even if I'm not trying to convey that, I think it just comes off naturally and people can pick up on stuff. And, you know, I think people have kind of been picking up on the vibe for a little bit now that it's like, man, you seem like more down on maybe PlayStation than you have before. And it's like, well, yeah, I kind of am, but not fully. I've been saying for a while that like choosing, you know, being a PlayStation channel is a choice. It's a conscientious choice because it's genuine. Like it's not for like clout or like you know, a grift or anything or whatever terminology people use. It's really not. It is as genuine as it gets. But part of being genuine about it is also the reality that I've been covering PlayStation for quite some time now, and I can tell you that like there have been better times, certainly. Like there have been times where it was much better, and you know, there is a bit of a separation factor between my personal enjoyment and what I'm personally engaged with versus the conversations that people are having on, you know, in chats, in comment sections, on social media. And you know, it's something that it's felt a bit off kilter for quite some time. And I was actually like kind of disappointed to see the marathon reveal to a degree. Like I was I'm like, this might be it, man. Like this might be a big moment for not just Sony, but you know, Bungie and their next game. And And to just kind of see that it really was like, oh, do you guys get what I'm saying? Your channel's going to boom when DS2 Yote comes out. News coverage will be crazy with all your videos and streams, possibly gameplay streams. The channel will skyrocket for GTA 6. Listen, if when it comes to GTA 6, I may temporarily become a GTA channel. I don't know. I definitely, that is my most anticipated game, dude. And that's one of those things where, like, when I say that I might be, I'm not going to become like literally a GTA channel, but I mean, the coverage of that game is probably going to be extensive simply because, yeah, man, like GTA has been a huge part of my life since like the first game I ever got on my PlayStation 2 was GTA Vice City and GTA 3. I was late to GTA 3 because I still had PS1 at the time, but I remember like Vice City was the game that made me harass my parents till they got me a PS2. They definitely shouldn't have bought me that game. I was too young for it, but they didn't really understand. And yeah, dude, like ever since playing GTA 3 and Vice City, I'm like, yeah. So it's a special game. Beat the cheater. You're saying check my last chat. Oh wait, hold on. It says message retracted. More anticipated than Metal Gear Delta? Yeah. Yeah, honestly. Metal Gear Delta is a game that I'm obviously like 10 out of 10 hyped for, but GTA surpasses that. That should give you an idea of like where I stand on GTA 6. There's nothing out here right now that I'm more excited about than GTA 6. Saying Concord was bad, Marathon was mid. Well, see, that's the thing, man. I'm not trying to you're saying you're coping so hard. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm like trying to be negative. I don't know if Marathon's going to be mid. I just know that people are not feeling that great overall. Like the general sentiment is like in the middle. Yeah, it's kind of like mid. Like some people are on board, a lot of people are not, and Bungie's out here saying things like we're not doing proximity chat because people are too toxic, and it's like I don't. Uh, like yeah, it's like Death Stranding 2 can't get here soon enough. Honestly, even I mean shit, even Days Gone remastered. I'm ready. I'm ready for some of that single player goodness that I always look forward to from Sony. That's where I'm at right now. It could be good. Yeah, I mean that's I am giving Marathon that credit where it's like it's just the beginning. And people who are saying DOA, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's going to be DOA. I think the reality for Marathon is will it die fast? Does it have a short life expectancy? Because it will have a player base at launch and probably for the first year or so. But is this going to be like the next long tail live service from Bungie, or is it going to be like a year and a half down the line? It's like we're struggling to like we're losing. We don't have a lot of players. Like we're struggling to keep people on board. See, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing you're pointing out here. Saying Concord had 1.7K players peak during the open beta. Marathon currently has 260,000 people in their Discord trying to sign up for the alpha. See, that makes me rethink my opinion here or my stance, where it's like that is a lot of people. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I may be completely off the mark here. And this is where I don't know, man. This is where I'm trying to get better at not allowing what I'm reading and seeing on the internet to uh what's the word I'm looking for? To distort. That's the word I'm looking for. To distort the actual reality of like, dude, you know? Um but I'm not a big, I'm not like a Bungie player, so I did get a vibe that the vibe I did walk away with is that like a lot of Bungie fans are on board with this game. That's why I feel like it's not going to be DOA, but 260K, that's a lot actually. Well, we'll find out, man. listen, I'll just simply put this out there, and it's I feel like these days everything is turned into, are they going to win or are they going to lose? Are they going to win or are they going to lose? It's it's very black and white, and I'm tired of everything turning into that ultimately. But it's like, all I will say is that nobody thought Helldivers was going to really amount to much. Nobody. So you never really do know. Nobody thought Concord was going to crash and burn as bad as it did. I think even the most diehard Concord haters didn't expect it to literally, for Sony to come out and be like, it's over. We took it out back and we shot it. All right, here's your money back. I don't think even the most diehard Concord fans saw that coming. So, I guess if anything, just be ready for anything, right? Be ready for any outcome. Shit's kind of crazy out here. I played Battlefield Hardline. That game was pretty good. People really dunked on that game, and I'm like, it was a pretty good game. Not bad. Is Helldivers considered an extraction? I mean, I guess technically you do have to extract, but you're not really getting loot and you're not fighting other players. So I definitely, like, if somebody were to ask me, is Helldivers 2 an extraction shooter, I would say no. Because it would, I think it's too different. Like, you do extract in that game. Literally, you have to extract out of the map, but that's pretty much the only thing it's got in common, I would say. The an extraction shooter typically is you go in with a team of players, you fight other players, you look for loot, you steal loot, and you also fight, AI enemies, and then you get out. And if you get out, you're the winner with all the loot, right? Hardline was a pretty good game, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Wasn't the best Battlefield, far from it, but I enjoyed it. Content creators are saying the fourth map will be revolutionary for the genre. Did you hear about that? I did hear some. Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. I heard something along the lines of, like, it's going to be like a raid or some shit, or like a dungeon, like some dungeon crawling extraction shooter. And that, I won't lie, that's kind of, I mean, that's interesting. Like, if they're doing something truly unique and new with it that hasn't been done in the extraction shooter genre, that could help them a lot. That would be very interesting to see. I mean, look, I'm going to try it. I'm not going to write it off. I'm going to try it for sure. I don't quite understand the hate that it's getting. Like, I have seen quite a bit of that. And I have subscribers on my channel here where they're like, I do think some of them get a bit too aggressive towards live service games. And I understand why, to a degree, where it's like, if you're somebody who, like, the way you play games is you play single player games, and specifically your favorite single player games or PlayStation single player games, I totally understand how when you see something like Marathon, right, you're like throwing up in your mouth, like, what, Sony, what is this? Like, what, God, what is this? I get that, but I just think that people need to kind of chill out a little bit and realize that Marathon can coexist with Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding 2 and Intergalactic and Wolverine. Like, it's totally fine. Like, would it be cooler if we also got some kind of single player Marathon experience? Yeah, I think that would objectively be cool and welcome, and everybody would be on board with that. But at the same time, I just think it's like, I don't know that, like, I didn't see anything from Marathon that makes me go, oh, I fucking hate this. Like, this is slop. I think that the only thing I saw that made me feel any negative emotion was essentially, like, it does look pretty generic all around. Like, it doesn't look, I could see like remnants of like that's Destiny. I could see the Destiny PvP aspect to a degree, right? Or like, you know, yeah, this is a studio that made Halo. You could kind of see that. Maybe that's a good thing, but for some people, but it's just like, yeah, I wouldn't call it slop. I would just say it's probably going to be a very well made game that doesn't really bring anything new to the table, unless maybe this fourth map that they bring, like you're saying, if they're doing something revolutionary in the genre, that'll be fascinating to watch. But I don't know, man. I think people, I I don't know if people's knee jerk reactions on the internet in 2025 are a reflection of the current state of like society or the world, but like it really does seem like people's knee jerk reactions to things these days are, I fucking hate this, or this is garbage, or throw it in the trash. Unless it's like, you know, something hyper specific to them, for them. Like literally, like we made this literally just for you. It feels like that's, and I'm not saying that to defend Marathon. I just feel like generally speaking, I see that all around with like so many things. And it's just like, I'm getting tired, you know? Like, I, I don't know. I guess I'm just venting a little bit here because it's like I can't sit here and say that, yeah, well, you know, the reaction I saw for Marathon was kind of like a one-off. It wasn't. Like, dude, I saw a similar reaction to Ghost of Yote. I saw a similar reaction to um, you know, Intergalactic. I saw a similar reaction to the fucking leak of Insomniac's Wolverine where it's like, "Hey, this game isn't even, it's just past like you know, this is like the earliest shit that a developer can do that's not meant to be seen by anybody." And people are like, "This is trash. Cancel it." Like it's just every single thing. It's just there's a very vocal group of people where it's like, I don't know, man. Like like I just have to ask, like, do you actually enjoy anything? You know? Like what is it that you enjoy? And if it's like, oh, I only enjoy like two things, it's like, that's fine. I'm not here to say you need to enjoy more than that, but like, you know, maybe be a little bit more understanding that like most people who are tuning into this stuff, like they're here for more than one thing or two things. I don't know. I know. I mean, I see it in my chat too sometimes, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to have to like tell people like you have to be this way to be in my chat, but it's just like I just want people to be a little bit, just a little fucking bit, like just a little open minded. That's all. I'm not asking people to like something they don't want to like. I'm just be a little bit open minded. You know, that's all. That's all. And then, you know, when we see something that's just, no matter what, it doesn't matter how open minded you are, it's like this is just bad. Then yeah, then we acknowledge that. But I don't know. You think the extraction shooter frustration filter will slowly cull their player count? That's the big thing I'm really curious about. Because like, yeah, extraction shooters can be like, it's like I said, man, it's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. There isn't really a middle ground. And I'm very curious to see like if Bungie, they're going to handle that. Now, I don't think they're going to try to dumb it down or anything, because I did cover in my video. The hell was that? I did cover in my video. Damn cats. I covered in my video today that you know, that Bungie is making it very clear up front, like they're straight up telling people like this game is not going to be for everybody. Like it's just not going to be for everybody. And I'm like, that's good. They should be saying that because it's true. That's true too, though. Big streamers love extraction shooters and high stakes competition. Yeah. Well, guys, I actually meant to end the stream about an hour ago, but I just kind of kept it going here for a bit. So definitely added on some more discussions and some more topics. But I think this will be a good place to end it. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to just go on and on here. I want to save some for tomorrow. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up today's stream. I think we covered some pretty solid topics today. Got a little bit silly. So yeah, we didn't hit 50 members today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be playing some Indiana Jones on my own. I'm going to get a bit more comfortable with it, and we're going to be doing some Indiana Jones streaming either tomorrow or we'll be doing it this week. So look forward to that, and then I'll probably do a bonus gameplay stream, a part 2 for members as well. But like I said, I just want to get a little bit more comfortable with it, a little bit more familiar, and I will also be talking about my impressions on a deeper level when I actually, after I get more than 10 minutes into it. So like if you're not into watching the gameplay, I will still be talking about my thoughts and feelings on the game. You think I'm going to like it? I hope so. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I only played like 10 minutes and I liked what I played. So all right, Meet the Cheater. I'll keep that in mind. The premium edition is out right now for Indiana Jones on on PS5. The regular version not yet. That comes out in 2 days. But all right, guys, please enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I also want to just make sure I give a big thank you to everybody who dropped some support. We hit 32 members, which is fantastic. Bosses, nice and full. He's been napping. That's how you know he got fed good. So thank you guys for that. If you dropped any super chats or direct donations, thank you guys so much. Was the code for premium? Yeah. I mean, they really hooked me up. So again, shout out to Bethesda for that. Very cool of them. And yeah. So also a shout out to Devil Shooter, who's been doing the timestamps. He did let me know that I think on Tuesdays and Fridays, the timestamps might come a little bit later, but they will still be coming. So if you're somebody who's relying on them, just be on the lookout. And yeah, that's it. Guys, I will talk to you guys. Guys, I will talk to you guys. That's how you know I got to end it. MRPD, you're saying Indiana Jones, or is there another game you still can't talk about? So I did mention this earlier, MRPD, but the Indiana Jones is not the game I was referencing earlier that I can't talk about yet. I just wanted to clarify that because I feel like, I don't want to mislead anybody. So yeah, the Indiana Jones was just kind of a spur of the moment. Like I was planning on playing it, but I was able to get a code, which is cool. So yeah, I'll just keep it going. Like I said, I'm dipping my toes in the water, I guess, and seeing where we go. So I appreciate that, MRPD. Yeah, we're moving up in the world, guys. We're doing it. We'll see if I get like a collector's edition for something one day. That's when you know I really made it, right? Get a collector's edition shipped out. Do a day one unboxing or some shit. I don't know. Or a day zero unboxing. I don't know what the hell they call it. Anyway, yeah, the M and MEG stands for Microsoft Bound Gaming. Gamer. All right. I'm at that point where I could just keep going on and on. Got to end it. Guys, we will be back here hopefully tomorrow with another stream and hopefully some more videos throughout the week. So be on the lookout for that. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, take care, everyone.